Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Level up in one day. If you want to break off the engagement, you can. Chapter 1. Yan Cheng. Spring Manlu. Throw this guy out. He doesn't have any money, but he's in good health. Who gives him the courage to call 8 girls in one night? If he comes again in the future, he will be beaten with a stick by me. The madam put her hands on her hips and was furious. Lin Chen felt like he was being dragged away in a daze. At the same time, a voice also sounded in my mind. System binding. Ooh, Mom, are we being prostituted by this guy for free? A girl was about to cry while wearing a bellyband, covering her mouth and sobbing continuously. The other 7 girls also had angry faces. They all criticized Lin Chen, who was already drunk. Yes, Mom, this is the first time in a long time that I have been raped for free. How could I just let this guy go? That's right. How can we let this guy leave like this? Then our whole night's work was not in vain. All 8 girls were unwilling. Open door for business, never seen anything like this. He came here to have love even though he had no money. After having girls for nothing, the madam just threw him out. Hearing this, the old bastard shook his head and said helplessly, "Don't you know this person? He is Lin Chen of the Lin family. Although I heard he is just a good-for-nothing young master, he is also a member of the Lin family. It is best not to offend him as much as possible. Just throw it out. Then we will report it to the Lin family and let the Lin family take care of this matter themselves. Don't worry, you all will go to the accounting office later to receive some subsidies. Just think of it as my mother and I will be a good person for once and see that you were wrong." The madam, who was almost bored to death, waved her hand. "Yeah, thank you, Mom." Upon hearing what the madam said, the 8 women suddenly burst into laughter. The expression on his face changed so quickly that it was staggering. Quick, 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 throw this guy out. A good-for-nothing young master dares to come here for free. If he hadn't been so drunk, let's see how I would deal with him. The madam waved her hand impatiently. A group of turtle men dragged Lin Chen downstairs. It attracted many people to watch. At this time, Lin Chen's mind finally came to his senses. He opened his eyes and looked around with confusion. Traveled through time. Lin Chen instantly realized that this was not filming. At this moment, there are also a lot of memories in my mind. This proved his guess. He didn't expect that his first time traveling would be at this location. He seems to be a playboy. Your family must be very rich, right? Lin Chen curiously checked the memory he had just obtained. Soon his face drooped. It's true that he is a young master, but he is a good-for-nothing young master. I don't have much ability on weekdays. I only pay a little every month, but after a few visits to the house, it's gone. Lin Chen continued to look at the memories he had just obtained, and soon understood what was going on. He traveled to a fantasy book world. His identity is that of a young master of the Lin family whose dantian was destroyed due to an accident since childhood. There is no unyielding ambition like 30 years in Hedong and 30 years in Hexi. It's the kind of person who simply has his pubic area destroyed, then gives up on himself, gradually becomes darker inside, likes visiting brothels, and doesn't like giving money. It's not that I don't want to give, it's that I don't have the money to give. Still a little villain. In the future, I will accidentally be killed by the aftermath of a master battle. It's that simple to end a disgraceful life. Even now, in the near future, we will still have to face the scenario of someone breaking off the engagement. A good-for-nothing, a waste, a villain, and breaking off the engagement. Lin Chen couldn't help but complain in his heart. What a shameful life. At the same time, his eyes lit up, remembering the voice he had vaguely heard when he traveled through time just now. System binding. He is a troubled man. As long as it's a bad start, no matter how bad the start is, it's acceptable. Lin Chen comforted himself like this. At this moment, the system was finally bound successfully. A reminder sounded in my mind again. Congratulations to the host, the system binding is successful. Just as the sound disappeared, a system panel appeared in Lin Chen's eyes. Only he can see it, and no one around him can. System introduction. The system upgrades to 1 level every day. As long as you are alive, it will continue to upgrade. Let's win, show off your skills. The system introduction is simple and crude. Lin Chen was overjoyed. Sure enough, the feeling of hanging is different. Congratulations on the successful binding of the host system. Initial reward, repair of Dantian. Dantian is being repaired. Estimated time is 10 minutes. Lin Chen was delighted. The reason why his body became useless was because his Dantian was destroyed. It's better now, and the system directly helps repair the Dantian. I won and said nothing. While Lin Chen was being dragged away quietly, he was also waiting for his Dantian to be repaired. He simply closed his eyes and continued to pretend to be drunk, for no other reason than that he was afraid of being beaten. He heard the conversation just now clearly. He came over and prostituted 8 girls for free because he had no money. My body is really good. But to wake up at this time, a severe beating is inevitable, and no matter how good your body is, it cannot withstand it. Not suitable at all. Several turtle men dragged Lin Chen downstairs, and many people gathered around to watch, blocking the corridor. People in this world really like to watch the excitement. Lin Chen lowered his head and pretended not to notice, trying to keep a low profile until his Dantian was repaired. Several turtle men simply stopped and let these people watch Lin Chen's embarrassment. At the same time, there was a flurry of discussion. Isn't this Lin Chen, the young master of the Lin family? I heard that he used to be a genius in the Lin family, but then his Dantian was shattered in an accident, and he has been in trouble ever since. Don't mention it. I use my identity as a member of the Lin family to get around with women every day. It's really embarrassing for the Lin family. They were dragged out of prostitution for nothing. It will probably be miserable when I return to the Lin family. There is a high probability that I will be taken care of by the family law. I heard that the Lin family has very strict family laws. This Lin Chen is probably going to be in trouble. No one will care about such a good-for-nothing young master, right? Haha, I think he deserves it. It's not a big deal for a group of people to watch the fun. They all made mocking sounds. Lin Chen was silently itching his teeth as he listened. These guys are really talkative. If the Dantian hadn't been repaired yet, I would have given them a big mouth. He couldn't beat him for the time being, so he continued to pretend to be drunk. At this moment, a girl wearing a maid's costume and pigtails ran in. Panting for a while, he rose and fell rapidly in front of him. The men around him all had eyes shining with wolf-like gazes. The maid's name is Xiaozi, and she is Lin Chen's exclusive maid. Although Lin Chen was an unpopular waste in the Lin family, but he is still a young master after all. Xiaozi has followed Lin Chen to take care of his daily life since he was a child. She has always been loyal to him, busy with his daily life, and is different from others, and has never looked down on him. Lin Chen didn't return all night, so Xiaozi was naturally very worried. After some inquiring, I found out about Lin Chen's prostitution here. He rushed over immediately, no matter where this place was. Not caring about other people's eyes, he suddenly came to Lin Chen's side and shouted, "Master! Master, wake up quickly, let's go home quickly." Xiaozi also felt a little embarrassed, feeling embarrassed for Lin Chen. He thought that when Lin Chen woke up, he might be able to slap himself twice. At the same time, he was also worried about him. If the Lin family found out about being such a disgrace to the Lin family, they would face punishment. As soon as Xiaozi finished shouting these words, the madam also walked down. Seeing Lin Chen still here, he suddenly became very angry. But after seeing Xiaozi's beautiful face, her eyes lit up again. The madam thought, this guy has had girl for nothing in my Chunman building several times. This has caused me to suffer a loss even though I didn't make any money. Not to mention, this good-for-nothing young master's maid is really good looking. Since this kid is not sober and has prostituted so many times for nothing, then there is no problem if I take one of his maids, right? Haha, he is a good-for-nothing young master. What will happen even if he wants to find trouble? The Lin family doesn't care about him at all. I am giving the Lin family face, but there is no need to give face to this boy. Thinking of this, the madam suddenly felt much better. With a bright smile on her face, she looked at Xiaozi and said, "Are you the maid of this good-for-nothing young master? I've seen you before, and your young master has come here for free prostitution several times. He owes me a lot of money. I remember all the accounts. There are also bills. He paid the deposit himself. Since you are his maid, you are also obliged to bear some responsibility for him, don't you think?" Lin Chen was shocked when he heard this. According to the original plot development, the madam succeeded this time. Xiaozi was coaxed, deceived and forced to get Chunmanlu. Ruined life ever since. And because of his own waste, he could only watch helplessly in the end, and the Lin family did not stand up for him, a waste young master. Not even a few days after he returned, the Lin family punished him severely after getting the news. Everything is developing in a bad direction. However, Lin Chen also knew that his dantian had not been repaired yet, and even being awake at this time would be of no use. He looked at the progress bar on the system panel and saw that it would take another minute to repair the dantian. Just hold on for one more minute. When Xiaozi heard this, her body suddenly tensed. She is just a maid, how can there be such evil intentions as the old madam? Suddenly he waved his hands in a panic and said, I have no money, but what my young master owes you we will find a way to pay back in the future. Xiaozi was shocked when she saw so many bills brought out by the madam. How decadent is this young master of my family? When the madam saw this scene, she secretly laughed in her heart. You're just a little girl, let's see how I get you here. Such a beautiful and lovely person, your business will definitely be good in the future, and you can help me make money back soon. Thinking of this, the madam continued to smile, with a hint of sarcasm on his face. Haha, in the future. Do you still want the future? Let me tell you straight today, either you pay back the money or you don't even think about leaving. Xiaozi's heart tightened again. After looking at the tall turtle men and the arrogant attitude of the madam, she couldn't help but retreat slightly. Said, I have told you that I have no money, what do you want? The madam's eyes lit up as she was waiting for Xiaozi's words. Pretending to hesitate, he looked at Xiaozi. Then he said, it's very simple. Since you are your young master's maid, just pay off his debt. As long as you work in my Chunmanlu in the future, you can pay off the debt soon. I will let you go then. Leave. It was naturally impossible to let Xiaozi leave. The madam was just trying to fool Xiaozi. When the time comes, wait until Xiaozi comes in and don't even think about going out. It has always been her money-making tool. But Xiaozi didn't know that she actually started thinking. She had been with Lin Chen since she was a child. Although Lin Chen was a bit useless on weekdays, he was really nice to her. But when she thought of becoming the plaything of other men in this Chunman building, Xiaozi hesitated. Especially the eyes of the men around him shone after hearing what the madam said. If such a lovely Xiaozi really comes, they will naturally come to support her. It was a pity for many people before that Lin Chen had to take advantage of such a good thing. Seeing that Xiaozi did not agree and was still hesitating, the old bastard struck while the iron was hot and continued. Don't worry, as long as you agree to come to my place, all the debts owed by your young master in the past will be written off. Besides, I have good food and good accommodation here, and I guarantee that I will keep you fat and healthy. At this point, the madam changed the topic again. Of course, I want to discuss this with you, but if you don't agree, you and your young master will never even think about going out here. After saying that, the old bastard winked at the turtles beside him. Heading towards Xiaozi, whose psychological defense had been somewhat broken. Ding, congratulations to the host, the dantian repair is completed. With a beep, Lin Chen's dantian was completely repaired. He seemed to feel some strength in his body suddenly coming back. A hot feeling came from the dantian. At the same time, although the strands are weak, they are indeed powerful and move smoothly through the body. Before Lin Chen could be happy, another notification tone continued to sound. Ding, congratulations to the host, the system won the first day, and the rewards have been upgraded to 10 levels. Boom 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 boom. In an instant, Lin Chen's cultivation level continued to make breakthroughs. In the blink of an eye, we arrived at the 10th level of qi refining. In Tianlong continent, qi refining is divided into 10 levels. As for an ordinary person, if he wants to reach the 10th level of qi refining from the beginning of cultivation, it can take several years or decades. In other words, at this moment, Lin Chen completed the efforts of others for decades. Directly reaching the peak of qi refining. This was a state he was far from reaching before his dantian was destroyed. But it was completed in this moment. Maybe the breakthrough was too fast, causing Lin Chen's clothes to automatically fall apart without any wind. A large amount of energy is also generated around the body, which directly materializes and expands around the body. A moment. The turtle men who were originally supporting Lin Chen were knocked upside down by the shock. He fell to the ground and passed out unconscious. This scene also shocked everyone. Even the turtle men who were heading toward Xiaozi were blown back a few steps by the wave. At the same time, he was also startled by the movement. Not to mention the madam, who was so frightened that she sat down on the ground. Lin Chen suddenly came to Xiaozi's side, and many people didn't even see him clearly. The cultivation level at the peak of qi refining is beyond the imagination of these people around you. Although there are also some powerful young masters who come to Chunmanlu. But at most it is the second or third level of qi refining. He was completely different from Lin Chen. Even in today's Yan City, Lin Chen is among the masters. Lin Chen was also overjoyed by the powerful force that suddenly filled his body. Too strong. Only he felt the deepest. Breaking through the 10th level of cultivation in one fell swoop. It is equivalent to the feeling of a person suddenly becoming a Superman. Others simply cannot experience that ultimate sense of improvement. Lin Chen's faint voice also sounded, "You dare to touch my maid. You are quite brave. Xiaozi, don't listen to this old woman's nonsense. If the house is full of spring, I will be in vain. That is their blessing." Lin Chen really wasn't bragging. Now that he has obtained this system, what is the concept of leveling up every day? Before long, the entire Tianlong continent will be like scum in front of him. When the time comes, people will say that Lin Chen, the peerless strongman, once spent many nights in Chunmanlu and fought 8 women at night. From then on, he was out of control. This Chunmanlu is really a geomantic treasure. But now these words sounded too arrogant to the people around him. He's simply arrogant to the point of no end. To be able to fill the whole building with spring here, the madam is certainly not an ordinary person. At this moment, he stood up and pointed at Lin Chen and yelled, "Don't pretend to be a fool here, I'll do it for you. Now that you're awake, it's easy to deal with. I have to deal with you today." As the madam finished speaking, a group of strong men quickly rushed towards Lin Chen. But the next moment, everyone only felt a flash in front of their eyes, and all those people flew out. At the same time, bang bang bang, there were sounds of slaps on the face one after another. Lin Chen didn't know when he came to the madam and slapped her face several times, causing the madam to sit on the ground with a buzzing head. This is too fast. Many people who were already at the second or third level of qi refining did not see Lin Chen's movements clearly at this moment. They were all shocked. He looked at Lin Chen in confusion. "Hey, dear, what's going on? Didn't it mean that Lin Chen's Dantian has been destroyed long ago and he won't be able to practice in the future? What's going on now? I'm at the third level of qi refining and I can't see his movements clearly. Could it be that he was just faking it before? My guess is that Lin Chen has been pretending to be a pig to eat the tiger. He is just deliberately pretending. He should be worried that someone will harm him while he is still weak. This kind of strength is worthy of the name of a genius. It is at least above the 5th level of qi refining. We have to be more careful what we say from now on, and try to be on good terms with Lin Chen. Maybe Lin Chen will become a big shot in Yan City in the future." Many people are speculating for a while, feeling that this is the only possibility. Many people are in the family and know how serious the disputes in the family are. There are ways to harm people without finding evidence. Lin Chen also had a reputation as a genius in the Lin family before. Many people speculated that Lin Chen was harmed by someone secretly. However, no evidence could be found, so the matter was dismissed. Everyone looked at Lin Chen differently. Lin Chen instantly became a favorite, and many people looked at him with expressions of admiration like a strong man. Lin Chen naturally heard this too. The ability of these people's brainstorming is really extraordinary. He didn't even look at the madam, who was too frightened to speak and was trembling all over, and pulled Xiao Zishao, who was still in a daze, away. The people who were blocking the corridor immediately quickly made way for them. They all dare not provoke this evil star. Many people were so squeezed that they fell to the ground and did not dare to make a sound even when they got up. Xiaozi was also shocked. From the moment Lin Chen woke up to the moment he pulled her away, she was dumbfounded. Xiaozi didn't react until she left Chunmanlu. He looked at Lin Chen excitedly and asked, "Master, are you able to practice? You were so awesome just now." Xiaozi had admiration in her eyes. Lin Chen looked deep and calm, with confidence on his face, as if he was not the same person as before. It reminded Xiaozi of the Lin Chen of the past. The confident young master seemed to be back again. Practice. Lin Chen paused. Does he use cultivation? It seems that it is not used at all. But since Xiaozi asked, he still nodded. For sure, I will follow the young master from now on. I can't guarantee anything else. There is no problem with being popular and drinking. My maid, no one can bully her except me. Master. Xiaozi felt happy, but at the same time her face turned red. What my young master said was too direct. It made her a little embarrassed. Although the two had been having an affair for a long time, Lin Chen had never said such a thing before. I seem to be drunk every day, and I run to Chunmanlu after I finish. Or just sit in the house alone and smash things. This is the first time I have said such words. Let her sigh that the young master is really back. After blushing, Xiaozi also recovered and followed Lin Chen closely. Yancheng Lin family. Located in the northern part of Yancheng, it is a very huge mansion covering an area of dozens of hectares. The Lin family is considered a big family in the entire Yan city. The Tianlong continent is vast, and monsters are rampant. Yancheng alone is too big. The Lin family is already relatively low-key. I heard that the main palace of Yancheng covers an area of hundreds of hectares. In such a family, the distribution of people is naturally extremely complicated, and there are all kinds of people. As soon as he arrived at the door, Lin Chen was stopped by the guard. Hey, who is this? No one else can enter the Lin family. The two guards naturally recognized Lin Chen, but they deliberately pretended not to know him. Ever since Lin Chen became a waste, almost no one treated him well. All the hundreds of servants who originally served him have left, either voluntarily leaving or being directly assigned to other people. That's why Xiaozi still stayed with him. Now even the guard dares to be so rude to him and deliberately makes things difficult for him. In the Tianlong continent, the strong are respected, and a waste who cannot practice, even if he is a young master, is just a scumbag. If it were Lin Chen before, he wouldn't be able to defeat even two guards. I can only swallow my anger and explain my identity in a good voice. But now he is different. How could he let two guards jump around in front of him? Snap. Two slaps were thrown out in succession. The two guards did not react and were slapped backwards. He lay on the ground covering his face and wailing. His face suddenly swelled up. Lin Chen looked at Lin Chen in shock. I couldn't believe that Lin Chen's movements were so fast just now. How can this be trash that cannot be cultivated? Be careful what you say to me in the future. You don't even know me. Don't you want your eyes? Lin Chen looked at the two people as he spoke. The two guards instantly trembled. Feel the ultimate chill. There was no doubt in Lin Chen's words. And although Lin Chen made a sudden move just now, they also knew that they could not be Lin Chen's opponent. Too fast, obviously his strength far exceeds theirs. He quickly got up and came over to Lin Chen and bowed repeatedly. I'm sorry, Master Lin Chen. We were wrong. We never dare to. The two of them did not dare to raise their heads after bowing. The body also trembled, waiting for Lin Chen's answer. Lin Chen nodded lightly. Remember what I said, there won't be a second time in the future, get out. Yes, yes, yes. The two guards quickly moved out of the way. Xiaozi was shocked when she saw it. I also admire him in my heart, my young master is a bit too domineering. But she liked it very much. In an instant, Xiaozi became a little fangirl. After Lin Chen took Xiaozi away, the two guards twitched their mouths and became speechless. Covering his face and sweating profusely. They didn't even have time to wipe off the cold sweat, and they started talking in a low voice. What's going on with young Master Lin Chen? I felt like the look in his eyes was so scary just now. He seemed like a completely different person, and his strength was unfathomable. After all, we have the 5th level of Qi refining, but we are powerless in front of him. It's terrible. One guard said, and the other kept nodding in agreement. Although they are just the Lin family's doormen, they are also the Lin family's frontrunners. His cultivation level is higher than that of many people in the Lin family. In fact, the status is not bad. Otherwise, he wouldn't dare to make things difficult for Lin Chen like this. But they will definitely never dare to do it again in the future. It seems things are going to change. In the past, everyone thought young Master Lin Chen was a waste, but it seems he is not at all. Fortunately, we found out early, so we need to keep a low profile in the future. Yeah, you're right. When we see Master Lin Chen again in the future, we must be polite and respectful. Ouch, it hurts me to death. Lin Chen and Xiaozi quickly returned to their residence. A small house. There is also a small yard. It looks a bit dilapidated and in disrepair. Lin Chen didn't live here originally, but after his dantian was abolished and he was always looked down upon by others, he couldn't stand it, so he took the initiative to move here. Mainly because it's remote and quiet, and you won't see the disdainful faces of those people. Although the place is not big. But the better part is that no one bothers me. There are also many flowers and plants planted in the yard. On weekdays, it was naturally not Lin Chen who did it, but Xiaozi who took care of it. Lin Chen was busy all day giving up on himself and going to Chunmanlu, so he had no time to do these things. Xiaozi was different. She was bored when she was alone, so she planted some flowers and plants and took care of them every day. It does look very pleasing to the eye. Smelling the fragrance of flowers in the yard, Lin Chen was also in a very good mood. From now on, it is perfect for him to stay here for a leisurely upgrade. To level up in one day, all you need to do is bask in the sun here every day. Ding! Congratulations to the host for finding a way to see flowers and creating the magical power of smallpox. Just after the system prompt sounded, Lin Chen felt something in his body. Start operating the technique you created. The surrounding flowers and plants swayed in an instant, looking extremely magical. Xiaozi on the side covered her mouth and looked at Lin Chen in shock and confusion. Lin Chen was also slightly surprised. I haven't taken a good look at the system introduction before, I just glanced at it briefly. After mobilizing the system panel again, Lin Chen suddenly realized what he was doing. When he obtained the system, he had automatically obtained full-level comprehension and full-level creation. Any skill in his hands can be fully leveled immediately. As long as you trigger something at will, you can create a technique. It's simply impossible to win by lying down. Lin Chen felt that the name, smallpox magic, didn't suit him very well. And I don't know what level of technique it is. After all, I created it myself, but it should feel pretty good. After using the smallpox magic skill, Lin Chen felt that the power in his body became much smoother. The strength that can be exerted can be increased several times. In Tianlong continent, the importance of martial arts is self-evident. There are 4 levels of skills divided into heaven, earth, black and yellow. Each level is divided into 4 grades: lower, middle, upper, extreme. Lin Chen felt that his technique was at least a high-grade Zon level technique. Even among the entire Lin family, only the head of the Lin family practices the Xuanji technique, and it is only the Xuanji low-grade technique. This is just created by random triggering. I don't know how many techniques I can create in the future. Lin Chen didn't care about this at all. Being wealthy is exactly what he is now. After looking at Xiaozi, Lin Chen asked, "Xiaozi, do you want to practice? If so, the young master will give you a technique." Xiaozi was stunned when she heard this. Then he nodded excitedly. But he quickly shook his head and said seriously, "Master, I'd better not learn it anymore. The Lin family has regulations that, except for members of the Lin family, the skills are not allowed to be passed on to others, not even servants or maids. If I learn it, I will get into trouble for the young master if someone discovers it in the future." Although Xiaozi was very moved, she also knew the rules of the Lin family. The Lin family's martial arts were not allowed to be spread to outsiders. If someone discovered that she, a maid, had secretly learned the martial arts, she would be severely punished, and Lin Chen would also be implicated. Xiaozi was very decisive and gave up. Lin Chen shook his head and chuckled when he heard this. Unexpectedly, Xiaozi still cares about him so much at this time. It made him even more planning to pass this technique on to Xiaozi. How could the woman who followed him not have some awesome skills? And I will give Xiaozi better things in the future. If nothing else, this is the benefit you deserve by following yourself. Lin Chen waved his hands indifferently and said, "Xiaozi, if you follow the young master from now on, don't say such things. You don't have to follow any of the Lin family's bullshit rules with this young master. Besides, what do you think the Lin family's bullshit skills are? It's embarrassing for me to practice them for you, young master. It's just rubbish. Xiaozi fell into a sluggish state again. Why did my young master become like this after a trip to Chunmanlu? His words were a little too presumptuous. He actually said that the Lin family's skills were bullshit and rubbish. It would be over if other people in the Lin family heard this. Xiaozi quickly looked around cautiously, fearing that someone might hear her and turn around to tell Lin Chen. After seeing no one, he breathed a sigh of relief. At the same time, he also asked with confusion, Master, if you don't teach me the Lin family's skills, then what skills will you teach me? Xiaozi also heard it. Lin Chen planned to teach her other techniques. But Lin Chen himself has always practiced the Lin family's techniques. How can I give myself any other skills? Although Lin Chen Dantian was abolished before. But I often try to practice the Lin family's exercises and work hard again and again. Although it fails every time. Haha, of course this is my own martial art. Come on, Xiaozi, listen up. I will teach you this martial art right now. This martial art is called the smallpox magic technique. Lin Chen directly passed on this smallpox magical skill to Xiaozi. Xiaozi was inexplicably shocked when she heard this. Create skills. Isn't this something that only those extremely powerful people in legend can do? And he is not an ordinary peerless strong man. They are all famous people in Tianlong continent. Lin Chen said he could create exercises. Xiaozi couldn't even imagine it. She quickly memorized the exercise route and started trying to run it. It was easy to feel the aura around me, especially the surrounding flowers and plants. She could even feel the life and spiritual energy fluctuations above, which was very magical. It startled her. Lin Chen also explained on the side. This smallpox magical skill, once practiced to a high level, can use the power of flowers and plants to improve oneself and can also be used to attack. It is very powerful and is more suitable for practice in places with many flowers and plants. Xiaozi, look, Lin Chen spoke with his palms facing the surroundings. Then Xiaozi was shocked to see waves of power flying out of the surrounding flowers and plants, converging on Lin Chen's palm. Then Lin Chen blasted out a stone in the distance, and the stone immediately shattered. Xiaozi was startled and shocked again. So powerful. Xiaozi murmured. His eyes were full of envy and shock. I immediately tried to use it myself, but it didn't work. Lin Chen couldn't help but laugh again. Xiaozi, don't worry. You've just started practicing and your strength is not yet strong enough. You can't use it for the time being. We'll wait until you successfully refine your qi. You practice first, and I will guide you from the side. After Lin Chen finished speaking, Xiaozi nodded happily. Sitting there cross-legged, he was performing the magic power of smallpox. Only about a quarter of an hour later, a strong wave of spiritual power came from Xiaozi's body. Xiaozi also opened her eyes and stood up excitedly. He hugged Lin Chen excitedly and shouted, Master, I seem to have broken through to the first level of qi refining. It was so fast that even Lin Chen didn't expect it. I feel that this smallpox magical skill may not only be a mysterious level skill, but may have reached the earth level. Otherwise, it would take at least several days, or even months, for a normal person to break through the first level of qi refining. There are also many who cannot make a breakthrough within 1 or 2 years. Even a genius would not be able to break through to the qi refining level so quickly if he only practices Zon level skills. There is no other possibility except that the technique is powerful. Soon Xiaozi herself reacted. He let go of Lin Chen and looked at him with wide eyes in shock. Although she has never practiced in the Lin family for so long, she still knows a lot about cultivation. I know how terrifying it is to break through to the first level of qi refining in such a short time. What level of skill did the young master give me? It's a bit too powerful. I just broke through to the first level of qi refining not long after practicing. So how powerful will I be in the future? Xiaozi never thought that one day she would become a strong person. But now she suddenly feels that her future achievements will exceed her imagination. Lin Chen saw Xiaozi's doubts and waved his hands and said, You will be more powerful than you imagine in the future. Keep practicing and let me see how many levels of qi refining you can break through today. If it was an earth level technique as Lin Chen guessed, Xiaozi's future achievements are far beyond what the Lin family can compare with. Sooner or later, the Lin family will be just scum in front of her. Xiaozi can naturally think of this. Although I don't know why Lin Chen was able to create such a technique. But Xiaozi naturally trusts her young master very much. Don't think too much, just sit there cross-legged and continue practicing. Lin Chen didn't need to practice, so he just lay on the chair and watched quietly. Guidance to Xiaozi from time to time. After all, Xiaozi doesn't have full comprehension, so she still needs to do it step by step. Soon it was evening. Lin Chen felt that Xiaozi's talent had been ignored before. Although this technique is very powerful, Xiaozi's talent is certainly not low. It only took a day for Xiaozi to break through to the 5th level of qi refining. Although the early breakthrough was very fast. But this is an exaggeration. Even in today's Lin family, Xiaozi is among the masters. Xiaozi herself was very excited. Anyway, she felt relieved about Lin Chen. Although she didn't know why it happened so quickly, she was too lazy to think about it. Anyway, just listen to Lin Chen. Lin Chen would definitely not harm her. Ah, young master, you have been practicing for so long. It is getting dark, you should be hungry. I will cook for you. Xiaozi reacted immediately. While he was busy practicing, the two of them hadn't eaten all day. Because Xiaozi had made too many breakthroughs and was full of spiritual energy, she didn't feel any hunger at the moment. But Lin Chen hasn't eaten yet. I quickly trotted to cook. Lin Chen smiled when he saw this scene and didn't say much. Soon Xiaozi rice was ready, and the two of them had a meal and rested. A night of silence. Early the next morning, Lin Chen successfully broke through to the next level. The first level of body tempering realm. Refining qi, tempering body, and true essence. The 3 realms of the day after tomorrow. The tempered body is divided into 5 levels. After successfully breaking through to the first level of body tempering, a crackling sound suddenly came from Lin Chen's body. At the same time, 2 system prompts sounded in my mind. Ding, congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the next level, another day full of salted fish. Ding, congratulations to the host for having the ability to sleep and create the magical power of yin and yang. It is understandable that he successfully broke through Lin Chen. But the creation of another technique still surprised him. Just after the beep ended, his body felt another wave of sensation, and he started to use the yin-yang revolving magic technique, and he also had an understanding of this technique. He didn't know the level, but he was sure it wasn't weaker than the smallpox magic. Cultivating to a high level can reverse yin and yang. Very powerful. Lin Chen's body was running 2 techniques at the same time without any impact. Normally this cannot be the case. However, when the system helped him repair his dantian, it also transformed his physique, allowing him to run multiple techniques at the same time. Master. Why did you wake up so early? I seem to hear a sound coming from your body just now. It feels like you seem to have become stronger again. Xiaozi was in a daze, but suddenly woke up. After being able to practice and break through to the 5th level of qi refining, Xiaozi can naturally feel whether others are strong. Lin Chen just broke through and his physical strength exploded. At this moment, she was lying on Lin Chen's back again. The distance was so close that she could naturally feel this clearly. I didn't even see the young master practicing, he just took a nap. This level of power seems to have been felt by some powerful people from the Lin family during martial arts competitions. I remember that they are all masters of the body tempering realm. Could it be that the young master has already reached the body tempering realm? Xiaozi screamed inwardly. Lin Chen was still the good-for-nothing young master that everyone despised before. Why did he suddenly reach the body tempering realm? Xiaozi couldn't understand it at all. Xiaozi, isn't it normal for the young master to be stronger? Lin Chen spoke with a hint of a bad smile, which immediately made Xiaozi's face turn red. He rolled his eyes gently at Lin Chen. I didn't ask any more questions after that. Anyway, the more powerful Lin Chen becomes, the happier she will naturally be. Master, please continue to rest. I will make breakfast for you. Xiaozi got up and went to prepare breakfast for Lin Chen. Lin Chen lay quietly on the bed. After having breakfast, I continued to watch Xiaozi practice. Because Xiaozi and Lin Chen are different, they cannot practice 2 techniques at the same time. Already possessing the magical skill of smallpox, Lin Chen did not pass on the magical skill of yin and yang to her. Without full level understanding, you can bite off more than you can chew. One skill is enough for Xiaozi to use for a lifetime. Time passed quickly. Another 4 days passed in a row. Lin Chen stayed quietly at his residence and did not go to places like flirting with women, which surprised Xiaozi. 4 days passed, and Xiaozi became more and more shocked day by day. Every day when I wake up, I will find that Lin Chen is much stronger than yesterday. 4 days later, Lin Chen had successfully broken through to the 5th level of body tempering. Reached the peak of the body-quenching realm. This speed can no longer be described as riding on a rocket. Every day he lived, Lin Chen became stronger. Xiaozi also practiced very quickly, because it became more difficult to practice as you went to the back. 4 days have passed, and Xiaozi has only reached the 10th level of qi refining. But that was only compared to Lin Chen. Compared with any normal person in this world, Xiaozi's speed is as fast as riding a rocket. In just 5 days, Xiaozi rose to the 10th level of qi refining. It won't be long before the tempered body is reached. When he woke up in the morning, Lin Chen felt the full strength in his body. Although he was at the 5th level of body tempering, he practiced 2 unknown levels of techniques he created at the same time, and he felt that he could easily deal with a strong person in the true Yuan realm. Xiaozi looked at Lin Chen and asked, "Master, should I practice as usual today?" Lin Chen shook his head and said, "Let's take a day off today. We have things to do later." According to the progress of the plot, Lin Chen knew that Yuanruo would come to break off the engagement today. He will be severely humiliated at the Lin family's banquet. After that, I couldn't even hold my head high in the Lin family. From then on, his heart began to darken, and later he relied on his own mind to gradually become a little villain. But this time the result will naturally be different. After breaking off the engagement, the person cannot be lost again. Counting the time, someone should be coming to him soon. Hearing what Lin Chen said, Xiaozi didn't know why. If 2 people stay here all day long and don't care about the world, what can happen? Xiaozi asked curiously, "Then what are we going to do?" Just as Xiaozi finished speaking, footsteps sounded outside. Xiaozi immediately looked over and realized that Lin Chen's father was coming. She immediately bowed and shouted, "Good morning, sir. I was wondering, why did Lin Yuanbai come at this time?" Lin Yuanbai's status in the Lin family is not very high. Although he is also the son of the old head of the Lin family, because of his weak talent, he is only at the 8th level of qi refining at such an old age. Naturally, it is difficult to raise one's status in the Lin family. On weekdays, I handle some chores at Lin's house. In the past, when Lin Chen's dantian was not destroyed, Lin Yuanbai was valued for a period of time. But since Lin Chen's dantian was abolished, his status has plummeted again. Although because he is the son of the family head, no one dares to say anything to his face. But there are a lot of secret comments about both father and son being useless. Especially the comments about Lin Chen were as unpleasant as they could be. Lin Yuanbai naturally knew this too. But nothing can be done. I felt in my heart that I owed a lot to Lin Chen. On weekdays, I didn't dare to come and see Lin Chen. After watching it once, you will feel that you are useless and can't even protect your own son. However, Lin Yuanbai is modest and optimistic. Looking at Xiaozi at this moment, he didn't think of her as a human being. He smiled and waved his hands and said, "No need to be so polite." Xiaozi stood up straight and stood silently beside Lin Chen without interrupting too much. Then he looked at Lin Chen and was slightly startled. In the past, Lin Chen's eyes always looked 3 parts drunken, 2 parts decadent and 5 parts desperate. "My clothes are always messy, I don't bother to take care of my hair, and I look listless." It worried him every time he saw it. But today he looks particularly energetic, well-dressed, and even gives people a calm and restrained look, but with a domineering and confident look in his eyes. Lin Yuanbai almost couldn't recognize that this was his son. I looked at it carefully and again, and I was very puzzled. Lin Chen was also stared at with some horror. He was the first to speak. "You came to see me for something, just say it directly." Only then did Lin Yuanbai react. "There's nothing wrong with coming by yourself. And it's a very important thing." He immediately stopped thinking about it. He was sincerely happy that Lin Chen could get better. It's like this. The Yulin family is coming today, so your grandfather plans to organize a banquet. The Yulin family has been gaining momentum in recent years. It has become more and more established in Fengyan City, and can even compete with the city lord's mansion. Your grandfather attaches great importance to this banquet. Didn't you have an engagement with Yulin Ruo of the Yulin family before? Yulan Ruo is coming this time, so you have to build a good relationship with her. As long as you can marry Yulan Ruo into the family, you will still have hope in the Lin family, at least you won't be bullied at will. It's really not possible to marry into the Yulin family. Maybe there will be an opportunity for you to practice again in the future. Lin Yuanbai was also very sincere. He had good plans for Lin Chen. But Lin Chen couldn't help but shake his head. Lin Yuanbai thought very well, but the Yulin family and Yulan Ruo didn't think so. According to the original plot development, if Yulin despises him as a waste, the Yulin family has also despised him for a long time, and this time they are here to break off the engagement. And he will be extremely humiliated. There is no possibility of continuing this engagement. Even if he knelt on the ground and begged, it was no use. According to the original plot, he really did this. Kneeling on the ground was shameless and looked down upon by everyone. But it was no use. Thinking of this, Lin Chen looked at Lin Yuanbai and said, "Okay, I understand, I will go to this banquet." Lin Chen will naturally attend this banquet, but he will not have a good relationship with Yulan Ruo. Instead, end the relationship quickly. Soon, the Tianlong continent won't be able to accommodate him, and there will be no time to have such an unclear relationship with a woman from a small city. Lin Yuanbai breathed a sigh of relief when he heard that Lin Chen agreed so happily. I didn't think much about it either. Anyway, Lin Chen will definitely participate. Otherwise, it would be too disrespectful to the Yulin family. After all, the current Yulin family is not even comparable to the Lin family. Both in terms of strength and influence, they far surpass the Lin family. The Lin family wants to hug this thigh even more. Lin Yuanbai looked at Lin Chen and said with a smile, "I'm not in a hurry. The people from the Yulin family will arrive at night. We, father and son, haven't spoken to each other for a long time. I know you have a lot of opinions about me. I'm here to talk to you." Bar. Lin Chen thought for a while, but did not refuse. Lin Yuanbai stayed. He told Lin Chen a lot about his childhood past. The family is quite happy. Soon it was approaching dusk. Lin Yuanbai said, "Chen'er, let's set off. It won't be appropriate if it's any later. Then remember to have more contact with Yulan Ruo and be sure to marry her." Lin Chen did not respond. He just stood up and said, "Let's go, you will know when the time comes." Lin Chen knew the impact of saying that he wanted to break off his engagement with Yulan Ruo now. I'm afraid that not only Lin Yuanbai, but also other people will come over and bother him to do ideological work for him. After all, even though he is no longer welcome, he is still on weekdays because of his engagement with Yulan Ruo. No one said anything wrong to his face. He also treated him as a young master. Once the engagement is truly broken off, the Lin family will probably not care about him anymore. Lin Yuanbai was suspicious. I don't know the meaning of Lin Chen's words. Then he also left together. Naturally, Xiaozi still followed Lin Chen closely. Soon, several people came to the banquet hall. The Lin family takes this matter very seriously. The banquet was prepared grandly. The people from the Yulin family haven't arrived yet, and preparations are already in full swing. Many people who had just passed by Lin Chen when they saw him rarely greeted Lin Chen today. "How do you do, third master?" "How do you do, Master Lin Chen?" Lin Chen knew that these people greeted him for the sake of the Yulin family. After all, his engagement with Yulan Ruo was still there. If he can really marry Yulan Ruo, his status in the Lin family will rise. Lin Chen was too lazy to respond. "I don't know what these people are thinking." Lin Yuanbai responded with a smile and said hello. "Haha, you're welcome, you should be busy." After all the people saying hello dispersed, Lin Yuanbai looked at Lin Chen and said, "Chen'er, you saw it, these people treat you like this because of your engagement with Yulan Ruo. Yulan Ruo must be very important to you. It's time for you to know. I still have a lot of things to do, otherwise your grandpa will talk to me again. You go around for a while, and I'll leave first." Lin Chen nodded slightly. After Lin Yuanbai left, Xiaozi dared to speak. Master, you are already so powerful, why didn't you tell me? When Lin Chen heard this, he glanced at Xiaozi and said with a smile, it's too troublesome to explain now, and there's no way for him to see the faces of Yulin's family clearly. After Yulanruo and I break off our engagement, he will naturally understand everything. Ah, Master, you want to break off your engagement with Yulanruo? Xiaozi was shocked. That's the Yulin family. Lin Yuanbai made it very clear before. The Lin family now needs to fawn over the Yulin family, but Lin Chen actually wants to break off the engagement. After saying that, Xiaozi also woke up and quickly looked around. Fortunately, there was no one around, but she still shrank her neck. Then he whispered, Master, you are crazy. I am afraid that the head of the family will not let you go. Lin Chen said confidently, don't worry, young master, I have my own sense of discretion. You can just watch from the side. Okay, master, I will listen to you. Xiaozi nodded and said no more. The two chatted while strolling around, and soon decided that the banquet hall was too noisy and went out for a walk. As they were walking, a voice suddenly sounded, causing both of them to stop. Lin Chen, I didn't expect to meet you here by such a coincidence. A woman's voice. Lin Chen looked at it and didn't expect it to be such a coincidence. It was Yulanruo. Yulanruo and the Yulin family just arrived here not long ago. I also dislike the banquet hall being too noisy, so I didn't start, so I came out alone to get some fresh air. Unexpectedly, he just met his good-for-nothing fiancé. Yulanruo was wearing a tight-fitting outfit and looked very powerful. Yangliu has a slim waist, plump hips and pretty face. She is undoubtedly a beautiful woman. In Lin Chen's memory, the last time he saw Yulanruo was many years ago, and Yulanruo was still very young at that time. He was a genius at that time, so he was naturally highly regarded by his family. At that time, the Yulin family was similar to the Lin family and came to propose marriage in person. The two are undoubtedly a very promising couple. Now it's the other way around, the Lin family is rushing to curry favor with the Yulin family. Yulanruo looked at Lin Chen with slight disdain. She has long been disdainful of her good-for-nothing fiancé. Who is she Lanruo? If she wants to marry, she must also marry the future strong man of this world. It would be embarrassing to speak out about a loser who can't even practice cultivation. Every time someone asked about her fiancé, Yulanruo felt so embarrassed that she couldn't even talk about it. The purpose of coming here is to break off the engagement. At this moment, he saw Lin Chen and asked lightly, Lin Chen, do you still remember me? Lin Chen nodded. Of course I remember, my fiancé Yulanruo. Haha, as long as you remember, you must also know that the situation of my Yulin family is no longer what it used to be, and you are just a waste who can't practice now, and the gap between us will only get wider and wider. Is the gap getting bigger? Lin Chen smiled slightly when he heard this. It's exactly what Yulanruo said, the gap between them will only get wider and wider. Yulanruo wanted to continue talking, but was interrupted by Lin Chen. Okay, I know what you are going to say. You just want to break off the engagement. I promise you, you can break off if you want. Lin Chen's indifferent attitude instantly made Yulanruo freeze on the spot. It was completely different from what she had imagined. What she just said was just to give Lin Chen a vaccination to make him mentally prepared. After all, it was the Yulin family who came to propose marriage. Now that the engagement is about to be broken off, the Yulin family is somewhat upset. She even thought about the scene where Lin Chen would cry and kneel down to beg her, and she even thought of a countermeasure. No matter what Lin Chen did or what nice words he said, this marriage had to be cancelled. But despite all the calculations, she still didn't expect that Lin Chen would directly agree to break off the engagement. A nonchalant attitude, no hesitation at all. What do you think of her Yulanruo? What did you say? Just agreed. Yulanruo felt something was wrong, as if she had been dumped. This feeling made her, the sweet girl of heaven, dislike it very much. Lin Chen nodded. Well, of course, isn't that what you mean? I can't ask for it. Yulanruo pointed at Lin Chen and was speechless for a long time. At this moment, I was completely confused inside. Afterwards, Yulanruo's chest rose and fell rapidly, and it took a while for her to recover. Feeling suspicious, She had already understood the situation before she came. Lin Chen still couldn't practice, and she already felt like she belonged. The reason why the Yulin family has grown so quickly is also because of her wishful husband. That was a young master who was several times more powerful than the Yulin family. It was far beyond what Lin Chen could compare to. Even if Lin Chen can still practice, he can't compare. One time Yulanruo went out for training and met Jun Wuchen by chance, and they hooked up from then on. With the help of Jun Wuchen's name, the Yulin family developed rapidly. This time I have to call off the engagement no matter what. Thinking of this, Yulanruo sneered in her heart, humph. Why don't you play hard to get? Let's see how embarrassed you were at the banquet. Yulanruo thought that Lin Chen was playing hard to get. It is impossible not to care about yourself. After all, she is so beautiful, and she has the backing of the Yulin family. How can the mere Lin family compare? Looking at Lin Chen, Yulanruo said one last thing. I didn't plan to tell you about the breakup of the engagement. My parents ordered the matchmaker to tell me that when the banquet starts, I will announce my breakup with you in public. You can agree to it then. Quote. Yulanruo's original plan was to make this matter known to everyone. Jun Wuchen himself had a hard time regarding this matter. Since I want to hug the big tree Jun Wuchen tightly, I naturally want to get rid of this obstacle. Although Lin Chen's attitude was beyond her expectation, she would still do it. As for whether Lin Chen would lose face because of this, that was not something she should think about. Who cares about a loser? Lin Chen also knew this. But his attitude also showed that since Yulin wanted to embarrass him, there was no telling who would be embarrassed. After Yulanruo finished speaking, she left without even looking at Lin Chen. Lin Chen didn't even look at Yulanruo. He said to Xiaozi, let's go shopping some more. This woman is really disappointing. Master. Xiaozi was shocked. I don't know why this young master is so crazy that he really wants to break off his engagement with Yulanruo. In Xiaozi's opinion, Yulanruo's family background and appearance were all as high as those of Lin Chen. It's understandable even if you say something soft. But Lin Chen seems to be becoming more and more domineering now. Xiaozi is a maid, she only needs to listen to her young master. Although she doesn't understand, she doesn't ask any more questions. He nodded and silently followed Lin Chen. The two of them walked around for a while before going to the banquet hall. The banquet hall was already overcrowded at this moment. All the prominent members of the Lin family are here. They came specifically to welcome the people of the Yulin family. More than a dozen people came to Yulin's house, and they were like stars holding the moon in Lin's house. Many people came up to chat. However, Lin Chen could tell that although the Yulin family members had smiles on their faces, their eyes were full of disdain. The Yulin family is no longer what it used to be, so how could they like the current Lin family? I came here just to solve a small problem with Yulanruo, Lin Chen. I came here to completely cut ties with the Lin family. With Jun Wuchen's support, the Yulin family will definitely get better and better in the future. In their view, the Lin family, a small family in a small area, was just a country chicken and a dog. Yulanruo hasn't come to the banquet hall yet, and she doesn't know where she went. They were not in a hurry to say it. He still greeted the Lin family casually. Lin Chen smiled and shook his head when he saw this. It won't be long before people like the Lin family will blush and be ashamed. These people will severely humiliate the Lin family. Of course, it will also humiliate him. Leaving aside the original plot, even if the Lin family and he were humiliated, there was nothing they could do. Later, the Yulin family did become stronger and stronger, leaving the Lin family far behind in the stinking ditch. For the rest of my life, I could not hold my head up in front of the Yulin family. 30 years in Hedong and 30 years in Hexi, I can only think about it in my heart. But this time, Lin Chen will let the Yulin family feel this feeling. Lin Chen just glanced at it and took Xiaozi to a corner with few people. I have no interest in saying hello to these people from the Yulin family. Sitting there leisurely drinking tea and looking around quietly. Not long after, Lin Yuanbai's eyes searched and he saw Lin Chen sitting in such a remote corner and walked over helplessly. Said, Chen'er, why don't you talk to the people of the Yulin family and build a good relationship? Look at how scornful others are. How do you ask me to say hello to you, without thinking about your own future at all? Lin Chen smiled and waved his hand. Don't bother, it will be fine soon. What are you talking about? Lin Yuanbai was confused for a moment, then shook his head and said without thinking much, your grandfather asked me to come to you. Come with me quickly. Your grandfather hasn't seen you for a long time. This is your chance. You are the protagonist today, and Yu Lanruo is here too. Your grandfather plans to get you married as soon as possible. Lin Yuanbai smiled as he spoke. As long as Lin Chen and Yu Lanruo get married, he will feel relieved about his son. Lin Chen really wanted to say that they were whimsical. But at this time, except for making people feel embarrassed and being criticized, no one believed it and it had no effect. Seeing is believing. Lin Chen stood up after hearing this. Said, let's go then. Xiaozi also quickly stood up and followed. Lin Yuanbai stopped him and said, Xiaozi, you are a maid, so don't follow me, otherwise others will gossip. Lin Yuanbai didn't have any objections to Xiaozi. Others no longer wanted to see Lin Chen. Only Xiaozi was willing to follow Lin Chen. He was just afraid that others would embarrass this little maid. Xiaozi naturally knew that Lin Yuanbai had good intentions. Although he didn't want to be separated from Lin Chen, he still nodded gently, okay, sir. It's okay, Xiaozi, just follow me. If anyone has any objections, I'll shut them up. Lin Chen spoke calmly. Xiaozi felt happy, but Lin Yuanbai was stunned. It was as if he no longer recognized his son. When did you become so domineering? Although it is good to be domineering, it also requires strength. Domination without strength will eventually become a laughing stock. If Lin Yuanbai wanted to say anything else, Lin Chen had already pulled Xiaozi and walked directly forward. Lin Yuanbai shook his head and said nothing more. I feel like Lin Chen should know this if he suffered a little loss. In the future, I will also know how to be measured and low-key in life. At the same time, I sighed in my heart. Since Chener's mother left, our relationship has become increasingly cold. The Lin family banquet hall is closest to the lobby and has the largest table. Lin Zhenshin, the old head of the Lin family, was sitting directly above, with people from the Yulin family next to him. Lin Zhenshin has a gray beard, but his eyes are calm and intimidating. His cultivation at the first level of the true essence realm also makes him a person that no one dares to underestimate despite his age. Sit firmly as the head of the Lin family. The true Yuan realm is the highest level of cultivation in the acquired realm. It is rare in the whole Yancheng. Even though they are only at the first level of the true Yuan realm, the Lin family ranks among the upper-class families in Yancheng. The true Yuan realm is the same as the tempered body realm, divided into 5 levels. Reaching the 5th level is called acquired perfection. The Lord of Yancheng is such a strong person. But at this moment, Lin Zhenshin had to be cautious when facing the people of the Yulin family. The Yulin family used to be just the same family as the Lin family. The head of the family is as strong as him. They are all only at the first level of the true essence realm. But for some reason in recent years, the family seems to have received a great opportunity. The head of the family is now an acquired Dzogchen master at the 5th level of the true essence realm. A few streets away from Lin's house. This time, the head of the Yulin family did not come, but just randomly sent some direct members of the family. But his strength and cultivation still shocked Lin Zhenshin's heart. More than a dozen people came, including 5 who were at the first level of the true Yuan realm like him. There was another person who even he couldn't see through, sitting next to him. Lin Zhenshin guessed that he had reached the 2nd level of the true Yuan realm. It's Yulin Kemming, the 6th head of the Yulin family. It is not considered the top combat power of the Yulin family at all. On weekdays, he is not outstanding in the Yulin family. He looks like he is in his 40s. His cultivation level is actually higher than him. Lin Zhenshin lacked a lot of confidence to speak. It feels like the Yulin family is just here to show off their strength. Lin Zhenshin really didn't think wrong this time. It's really here to show off your strength. It's just that the Yulin family's current strength has long exceeded his imagination. They just randomly sent some people to help Yulanruo, so that the Lin family would have some self-awareness. Except for Yulin Kemming, no one else is ranked in the Yulin family. Lin Zhenshin raised his glass with a smile and said, Come on, Brother Kemming, let's have a drink, don't sit around like this. Yulin Kemming immediately waved his hand and said, Sorry, I'm not very good at drinking, so I won't drink. I wonder where the Lin family's young master Lin Chen is. Why haven't you seen him? Or have you seen him but not noticed? There was a touch of arrogance in Yulin Kemming's tone. How could Lin Zhenshan not feel it? And he's so disrespectful. Lin Zhenshan was also a little unhappy, but he didn't show it. He continued to smile and said, "My unworthy descendant is probably wandering around somewhere again. I have already sent people to look for it. Brother Kemming, don't worry. I heard that Miss Yulanruo is also here. Where is she?" When Yulin Kemming heard this, he was about to answer, but someone had already answered for him. "And it's me. I'm here. I felt it was too noisy here before, so I went out to get some fresh air." A sound exploded in the banquet hall, and then a figure jumped quickly, skipping everyone and arriving in front of Lin Zhenshan's table. Lin Zhenshan looked at the heroic appearance and nodded silently. With such an outstanding temperament, if she could marry into the Lin family, it would really be a blessing to her ancestors. Suddenly, he felt that Lin Chen was really lucky to have an engagement with Yulanruo. Boom! Isn't this a method that can only be used in the body tempering realm? Could it be that Yulanruo has reached the body tempering realm at such a young age? Is this Miss Yulanruo of the Yulin family? She is so beautiful. Then Lin Chen really doesn't know what kind of bad luck he has. The bursts of praise made Yulanruo feel very happy. Lin Zhenshan immediately greeted with a smile. Come on, Miss Yulin, sit down quickly, my grandson will be here soon." As soon as Lin Zhenshan finished speaking, Lin Chen had indeed followed Lin Yuanbai over. Lin Zhenshan's eyes also lit up. In fact, he didn't have any objections to Lin Chen, but was more heartbroken. Before Lin Chen's dantian was abolished, he had too many expectations for him, so he was even more disappointed. As the head of the Lin family, he naturally cannot talk about family affection all the time. More attention needs to be focused on the children of talented families. Only then can the Lin family develop better. Now taking this opportunity, Lin Zhenshan also wants to let Lin Chen shine. Establish a deeper relationship with the Yulin family. Seeing Lin Chen arriving, Lin Zhenshan immediately smiled and said, "Look, we're here as we said, Lai Chen'er, come here quickly and sit with Miss Yulanruo." At this time, everyone else's eyes were also directed at Lin Chen. The younger generation of the Lin family is naturally envious. After all, this is Yulanruo, who wouldn't want to marry her? The people of the Yulin family watched silently and sneered inwardly. Knowing that Lin Chen is a waste now, if they hadn't come here, he might not even have a chance to show up. As for Yulanruo, she didn't even look at Lin Chen. How could this ant-like waste get into her eyes? Lin Chen didn't pay attention to these glances, and pulled Xiaozi to see an empty seat, which was quite far away from Yulanruo. About to sit down, a small muttering sounded. "Tch, what the hell, it's really unseemly to bring a maid here on such an important occasion." Snapped. He happened to be right next to Lin Chen. Lin Chen made a big mouthful with his backhand without any politeness, and his voice was clear and loud. The entire banquet hall heard it clearly, causing everyone around to be quiet for a moment. He stared at this scene dumbfounded. The speaker was a young member of the Lin family, Lin Xiaoguang, the son of Uncle Lin Chen. Normally, his status in the Lin family is much stronger than that of Lin Chen. At this moment, I can only stand aside. Can't take a seat. I had complained in my heart for a long time, and now I deliberately whispered it softly for Lin Chen to hear, just to make Lin Chen feel disgusted. At the same time, vent your dissatisfaction. But he didn't expect that Lin Chen was different from before. Can Lin Chen tolerate him? Especially those who said Xiaozi was wrong. I told Xiaozi before that if anyone dares to have an opinion, he should shut up. He does what he says. This slap shocked everyone in the banquet hall. No one expected that Lin Chen would smoke at will on such an occasion. And it was in front of Lin Zhenshan and all the guests from the Yulin family. There had been a lot of comments like this before, and Lin Chen didn't even dare to fart. After all, a loser who can't practice might not even be able to defeat a servant in the Lin family. Lin Xiaoguang didn't expect it either, covering his face in disbelief. The burning pain on his face made him react. He was really slapped by Lin Chen in front of so many people. Lin Chen's uncle, Lin Xiaoguang's father, Lin Jinggrong, also stood up from his seat and looked at Lin Chen coldly with a low voice. "What are you doing?" Sit down. Lin Zhenshen's voice sounded. He directly scolded Lin Jinggrong. Lin Zhenshen naturally did not expect Lin Chen to take action, and at this moment he felt guilty in his heart. But everyone in the Yulin family was present and watching. It was already very embarrassing, but if Lin Jinggrong was allowed to go down, the Lin family would lose even more face. Lin Jinggrong also thought of this and sat down bitterly. Lin Chen glanced at Lin Xiaoguang indifferently, and Lin Xiaoguang trembled in fright. It was as if he was not facing the Lin Chen he once was. Don't dare to talk nonsense anymore. The people in the Yulin family also looked at each other. It's a little different from the information they got. According to the information, Lin Chen lived in seclusion in the Lin family because he was unable to practice, often running to brothels. On weekdays, the Lin family is also a cowardly group. This time the situation was really beyond their expectations. This person is a bit too domineering. He dared to take action in front of Lin Zhenshen. Yu Lanruo also looked at Lin Chen in surprise. I also can't figure out what's going on. Ever since she came to the Lin family, everything was different from what she imagined. At this time, after Lin Zhenshen scolded Lin Jinggrong, he glared at Lin Chen and said with a smile, "Guests, don't mind, young people are always a little arrogant, ha ha ha." Lin Zhenshen's smile was also a little embarrassing. He decided to teach Lin Chen a lesson when it was over. It's so small and big. Lin Yuanbai was also stunned. It was as if I was meeting my son for the first time. Swallowing my saliva, I felt a little overwhelmed for a moment. But he quickly reacted and quickly sat down next to Lin Chen and Xiaozi, looking at Lin Chen for a while. Are you sure this is really your son? Just as everyone was changing glasses and everything was back to normal, Yulin was about to stand up and announce her breakup of the engagement. Lin Chen stood up first again. Let Yu Lanruo stay for a moment. Lin Chen's next words made Yu Lanruo's face turn green and red. Lin Chen said loudly, "Everyone, here, I want to announce an important thing. It is about my marriage to Miss Yu Lanruo of the Yulin family. I plan to terminate the engagement with her from now on and have nothing to do with her from now on." Quote. Break off an engagement. Good guy. And it was Lin Chen who brought it up first. Don't say that Yu Lanruo is confused. The people of Yulin family were confused. Everyone in the Lin family was also confused. In an instant, the entire banquet hall became audible again. They all wondered if they heard wrongly. Many young disciples looked at Lin Chen with eyes that could kill people. If eyes could really kill, he would have been riddled with holes. Who is Yu Lanruo? The eldest lady of the Yulin family, and the most respected one. Even the head of the Yulin family wanted to see Yu Lanruo's face. The engagement was broken off by Lin Chen, a loser. No one would believe this kind of thing. Nonsense. Lin Zhenshen finally couldn't help it anymore and stood up suddenly, looking at Lin Chen full of anger. The Lin family has been going downhill in recent years, just the opposite of the Yulin family. For the benefit of the family, the marriage with the Yulin family is imperative. This was also the reason why Lin Zhenshen tolerated Lin Chen being so reckless just now. But you can't be so presumptuous, right? Lin Chen had a look of indifference on his face when he heard this. Just as Lin Zhenshen finished speaking, Yu Lanruo gritted her teeth and said in a low voice, "What did you say? Do you want to break off the engagement with me? I'm obviously here to break off the engagement today." Lin Chen, you fool, take back what you said. Yu Lanruo has always thought highly of herself. She is beautiful, has a good figure, and is extremely talented. She has reached the 3rd level of body tempering at this age. She is a genius among geniuses in the Yulin family. In the future, he will definitely lead the Yulin family to the top. The engagement was annulled by a loser. How could she bear it? Lin Zhenshen was also stunned at this moment. He didn't expect that Yu Lanruo was here to break off the engagement. He said nothing and looked at Lin Chen in surprise, feeling that his move this time seemed to be intentional. He couldn't help but have thoughts in his eyes. At this time, the people in Yulin's family who came with Yu Lanruo were no longer hiding. They all stood up. Yulin Kemming also had an angry look in his eyes. No one has dared to humiliate the Yulin family like this. This is no longer a slap in the face of Yu Lanruo, this is a slap in the face of the entire Yulin family. Boy, who gave you the courage? How dare you say such a thing? I was supposed to break off the engagement today, but it was my Yulin family who proposed to break off the engagement. You, the Lin family, are just country chickens and dogs. Who do you think you are? You are uttering such arrogant words. At this time, Lin Zhenshin also reacted. I finally understood that people like the Yulin family were probably here to break off the engagement from the beginning. No wonder he is so disrespectful. What he said also humiliated the Lin family. At first he thought it was because the Yulin family was used to being arrogant. Now it seems that from the beginning, the Lin family was not taken seriously. Lin Chen's move was to counterattack the Yulin family's army and restore face to the Lin family. This made Lin Zhenshin angry, and he immediately stood in front of Lin Chen and said calmly, "I'm just a junior, you don't need to take action personally." Lin Zhenshin himself felt that he was no match for Yulin Kemming, but he could not tolerate his grandson being bullied. "Uncle Six, please step aside and I will teach this boy a lesson. I am of the same generation as him, so Patriarch Lin should not stop him." Yu Lanruo spoke with murderous intent in her eyes, staring at Lin Chen so hard that he made himself so embarrassed today. This man must die. Lin Zhenshin was stunned, knowing very well that Lin Chen's situation was no match for Yu Lanruo in the body tempering realm. Just to refuse on his behalf, Lin Chen took the lead and said, "Xiaozi, help the young master teach this woman a lesson. She is not worthy of the young master personally taking action." Xiaozi was stunned and pointed her finger at her nose, in disbelief. Although she is already at the 10th level of qi refining, Yu Lanruo is still at the body tempering level. I feel that I may not be Yu Lanruo's opponent. But Lin Chen was already at the peak of body tempering. When Yu Lanruo used his power before, he could sense that he was no match for Xiaozi. Although Xiaozi is at the 10th level of qi refining, her own talent and practice give her at least the earth level smallpox magic technique. The majestic level of power is far beyond what Yu Lanruo can compare with, and he is completely capable of fighting across levels. As for himself, needless to say, he also has the ability to fight across levels. What is the difference between using his already superior cultivation level to deal with Yu Lanruo and bullying a child? He couldn't afford to lose this person. "Xiaozi, go ahead. You heard what the young master said. Don't be afraid," Lin Chen said with a faint smile. Xiaozi nodded heavily, trusting Lin Chen unconditionally. But everyone else is crazy. If they read it correctly, a maid going to deal with Yu Lanruo, who is at the 3rd level of the body tempering realm. At this moment, Xiaozi's maid costume was particularly eye-catching. Although Xiaozi is naturally beautiful, and after practicing the smallpox magic, her temperament is even better. But after all, she is just a maid. Anyone with a clear eye can see it. Yu Lanruo was so angry that she became quiet. Lin Chen and Xiaozi looked at each other in disbelief. Not to mention Lin Zhenshin, does Lin Chen have a funny brain? He actually asked his maid to die. I was still protecting this maid like this before. Lin Zhenshin didn't know whether Lin Chen was really stupid or fake. Ha 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 ha. Yu Lanruo, who was extremely angry, suddenly burst into laughter. Pointing at Lin Chen and Xiaozi, he said disdainfully, "Even if you come together, I'm not afraid. Why would you let a maid deal with me? Lin Chen, who do you look down on?" "Ha ha, why do you just look down on you?" Lin Chen said with a smile. Since Yulin wanted to embarrass him, then he would be even more rude. Xiaozi also looked at Yu Lanruo at this moment and said, "Miss Yulin, please advise me. This is my first time fighting. I'm sorry." Xiaozi is very polite. "I'm still not used to this, and I haven't fought before." But since Lin Chen said she could win, then she would definitely win. Yu Lanruo looked at Xiaozi with disdain. "You're a maid, who gave you the courage to die?" Yu Lanruo slapped him casually. He planned to kill this maid first and then deal with Lin Chen. But soon, something happened that shocked everyone. Xiaozi did look a little panicked, and she slapped him in a panic. In an instant, Yu Lanruo's body quickly retreated, taking several steps back to stabilize her body. And almost fell. Her face suddenly turned red and angry. If he had really fallen down just now, he would have been very embarrassed. But even this made her lose her temper. He is a master of the 3rd level of body tempering, and he practices the Zon level high-grade skills given by Jun Wuchen. It is more powerful than the technique practiced by the head of the Yulin family. Although he didn't use all his strength, he was actually repelled by a small maidservant at the 10th level of Qi refining. What a shame and humiliation. Etc. 10 levels of Qi refining. A maid. Yulanruo suddenly looked at Xiaozi blankly. Xiaozi is younger than her, and she is just a maid of the Lin family, but she actually has the 10th level of Qi refining. It's just one step away from reaching the same body tempering state as hers. She was piled up with countless resources. Isn't this even more incredible? It's not just Yulanruo. Everyone around looked at Xiaozi in shock. Everyone in the Lin family, including Lin Zhenchen, the old head of the Lin family, and even Yulan Keming narrowed their eyes and looked at this scene in confusion. Xiaozi's sudden burst of cultivation just now was definitely at the 10th level of Qi refining. And what shocked everyone even more was, when did the 10th level of Qi refining become so powerful? Yulanruo is at the 3rd level of body tempering. The gap between each level of the body tempering realm is extremely huge. Not to mention that Xiaozi has not yet reached the body tempering realm. Even if it was just a casual palm from Yulanruo, using only 10% of her power, it would be unstoppable at the 10th level of Qi refining. Genius. This word instantly appeared in everyone's mind. No one thought that a mere maid could be so terrifying. Lin Zhenchen was instantly ecstatic. I didn't expect that the Lin family would have such a genius. And she is also the maid of her grandson Lin Chen. Lin Zhenchen had to sigh that Lin Chen was really lucky. You can find such a talented maid. And he also looked up to him. The Lin family has rules that prohibit maids and servants from practicing. But genius is an exception. Such a genius can refine Qi to the 10th level at such a young age, which is far beyond this level of strength. Even Lin Zhenchen has to be cautious. I have already made a plan. When this matter is over, I must renew my grandson-grandfather relationship with Lin Chen. At the same time, we must devote all our resources to cultivating Xiaozi. Now no one will talk about it anymore. After all, Xiaozi obviously listened to Lin Chen's words. Is this really just a maid? I remember that she has always been with Lin Chen. What kind of bad luck did Lin Chen have? I really can't understand why Lin Chen gets all the good things. First, Yulanruo got engaged to him. I didn't expect that after becoming a waste, he would still have such a talented maid following him. Even the younger generation does not have the 10th level of Qi refining. And even people who have reached the 10th level of Qi refining don't think they can do this. Just when everyone was shocked, Xiaozi also reacted and her face suddenly turned red. I felt that my performance just now was so embarrassing. Lin Chen had obviously taught her so many fighting methods in the past few days, but she was actually frightened just now. He slapped him back as instinctively as he would a child fighting. It is really embarrassing for my young master. And I also feel that I don't respect my opponents a little bit. Immediately he looked at Yulanruo and waved his hands in embarrassment and said, I'm sorry, Miss Yulan, I have only practiced for 5 days and I am not very proficient in combat skills yet. I promise I will take it seriously later. Xiaozi said seriously, but also from her heart. But Yulanruo was so angry that she almost vomited blood. It's so exciting. At the same time, everyone was shocked again. 5 days. You might be bragging, but it looks like Xiaozi is really not lying. If this is really the case, then this is too scary. How amazing will Xiaozi's future achievements be? But this aroused Yulanruo's murderous intention even more. This is the first time I want to kill someone. Yulanruo's face turned red at first, then turned from red to green. The roots of my teeth are itchy. I didn't want to respond to Xiaozi's words at all. With a soft drink, he attacked Xiaozi with all his strength. Suffer death, fool. Everyone could hear Yulanruo's anger. At the same time, it felt unreal. Yulanruo was so angered by a maid. Lin Zhenchen was watching silently from the sidelines, ready to save Xiaozi, a genius at any time. Xiaozi had a previous experience and was not so nervous now. Taking it seriously, Yulanruo first evaded when the attack came, and then started to counterattack. But after all, he was a little unfamiliar and did not hit Yulanruo. In this way, the two people went back and forth, and Xiaozi quickly adapted to fighting. After all, Yulanruo was at the 3rd level of body tempering, and her cultivation level was much higher than Xiaozi's. Although I can't take down Xiaozi, I can still fight with Xiaozi. He just felt more and more shocked. Every time she collided with Xiaozi, she felt her body tingling. This is not the power that the 10th level of qi refining can possess. Lin Chen shook his head when he saw this. With Xiaozi's strength, there was no need for such trouble. Just lack of combat experience. He gave instructions from behind. Xiaozi, relax, don't be nervous, be steady with your shots, and pay attention to the opponent's movements. Lin Chen's guidance was very useful. And Lin Chen's voice can always give Xiaozi peace of mind. For a moment, Xiaozi seemed to understand the battle. Bang! A palm hit Yulanruo's chest, and in an instant, Yulanruo spat out blood and flew out. When he landed on the ground, his face was as white as paper. Ah, Miss Yulan, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Xiaozi looked blaming herself and apologized repeatedly to Yulanruo, who was lying there. Everyone around him was stunned. 10th level of qi refining. He actually defeated the 3rd level of body tempering. This is too far-fetched. And she even apologized. Puff, it would have been better not to say this. Upon hearing this, Yulanruo couldn't take a breath and spit out a large mouthful of blood. Chapter 11. The whole person pointed at Xiaozi and trembled with anger, but was speechless. Upon seeing this, Yulan Keming immediately came to Yulanruo's back and performed some kung fu exercises on Yulanruo, which made Yulanruo feel much better. His complexion gradually recovered. He stood up, wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, and said in a low voice to Yulan Keming beside him, Uncle Six, help me kill her and Lin Chen. She is Yulanruo, who is at the 3rd level of body tempering and also practices Zon level high-grade skills. Defeated by a maid who was at the 10th level of qi refining from the Lin family. If this matter spreads, she will not be able to go out to meet people anymore. The only way is to make this person disappear forever. And Xiaozi was Lin Chen's maid, so Yulanruo also held a grudge against her. With all the old and new grudges added together, Yulanruo didn't want to see the two of them alive. Yulanruo almost had a commanding tone when she spoke. But Yulan Keming also felt that it was natural, knowing that Yulanruo is the hope of the Yulan family. The Yulan family's success depends entirely on the relationship between Yulanruo and Jun Wuchen. Even if he could break through to the true Yuan realm, Yulanruo's help would be indispensable. Naturally, he did not regard Yulanruo as an ordinary junior. And Xiaozi's performance is really amazing. If what she said before was true, it only took 5 days to break through to the 10th level of qi refining. Then this is simply not something that humans can do. This level of genius was beyond his imagination. Now the relationship between the Yulan family and the Lin family has become like this. Repair is impossible, so the best way is to nip such a genius in the cradle. Otherwise, Xiaozi will definitely become a serious problem for the Yulan family in the future. As the saying goes, you are happy and sad at the same time. The Yulan family was murderous at Xiaozi's performance. The Lin family was not only shocked but also filled with endless joy. With such a genius in the Lin family, he will surely lead the Lin family to glory in the future. They are members of the Lin family, so naturally they can drink the soup and enjoy themselves. So far, everyone looked at Lin Chen differently. There was a flattering look in his eyes. Who doesn't know the relationship between Xiaozi and Lin Chen? Even what I didn't know before is now clear to me. From now on, as long as he has a good relationship with Lin Chen, that doesn't mean he has a good relationship with Xiaozi. What happened to the waist? As long as he can be hugged on the thigh, he is an awesome loser. And it was still this thigh holding him. Lin Yuanbai was also shocked. He looked at Xiaozi in disbelief. Is this maid of his son, who has always been very respectful to him, even a little submissive, actually such a person? Thinking about the way Xiaozi greeted him before, Lin Yuanbai's face turned red. How could he bear the respectful greeting from such a genius? Such a genius deserves to be treated like a head of the family in the Lin family. Even a stronger position than the head of the family. You can tell something about it from Yulanruo. Not to mention Lin Zhenshan, who was trembling with excitement at this moment. If he hadn't been concerned about his identity and the relationship between Xiaozi and Lin Chen, he would have really wanted to go up and hold Xiaozi to express his excitement. How many years? The Lin family has never produced such a genius. He wouldn't even dare to think like this in his wildest dreams. And at this time, Yulan Keming has quietly arrived not far from Xiaozi, planning to quickly deal with Xiaozi. The reason why he was like this was that he was worried that Lin Zhenchen would stop him, which would cause some trouble. Maybe something unexpected will happen. It would be troublesome if Xiaozi escaped. But how could Lin Zhenchen not notice it? All his attention was now on Xiaozi. He discovered Yulan Keming's actions immediately. He quickly came to Xiaozi, looked at Yulan Keming who was about to take action and said calmly, I admit that your cultivation level should be better than mine, but I am not a vegetarian. If I guess correctly, you should already be at the second level of the True Yuan realm, but I have also been in the first level of the True Yuan realm for many years, and you are only one step away from the second level of the True Yuan realm. I'm here today, so you'd better put away your thoughts. Although Lin Zhenchen thinks that he may not be Yulan Keming's opponent. But if you really had to fight him forcefully, Yulan Keming wouldn't be able to get over it. Now that he knew that Xiaozi was such a genius, Lin Zhenchen would naturally risk his life to protect him. Without looking back, Lin Zhenchen said to Xiaozi, go to Chen'er and leave this guy to me. Xiaozi nodded immediately. She didn't expect to be able to fight beyond the level. Moreover, with the 10th level of Qi refining, he defeated Yu Lanruo, who was at the 3rd level of body tempering realm. But she is also self-aware. It is impossible to fight Yulan Keming, who is already in the True Yuan realm, across levels. He was very obedient and came to Lin Chen's side, holding his arm slightly nervously. I feel as if I have made a big mistake. Lin Chen smiled and patted her shoulder and said, don't worry, as long as I'm here, nothing will happen. This sense of security. Lin Chen's words were so reassuring that Xiaozi instantly lost her nerves after hearing this. The first time it happened, it seemed that nothing terrible would happen around Lin Chen. He is too domineering and confident. Makes people feel extremely safe. But this scene also made the younger generation of the Lin family extremely envious. I also want to have such a talented maid. It's a pity that he only belongs to Lin Chen. Hearing Lin Zhenchen's words, Yulan Keming suddenly smiled disdainfully. Haha, is that right? Just give it a try. After saying that, Yulan Keming took action directly. He instantly exchanged palms with Lin Zhenchen. In an instant, powerful energy fluctuations spread to all directions. Many people who were close to him retreated. Even some of the less powerful Lin family disciples were knocked to the ground. Very embarrassed. But at the same time, many people looked at Lin Chen in shock. At this moment, he was standing there motionless, even guarding Xiaozi. A battle in the true element realm involves such violent energy fluctuations. Even in the body-quenching state, he didn't dare to stand there. It left many people stunned. However, more people's eyes still focused on the battle between Lin Zhenchen and Yulan Keming. After all, this is a battle in the true element realm. In the whole Yancheng, you may not see it once in many years. But soon something happened that the Lin family couldn't accept. Lin Zhenchen's figure quickly retreated. He was defeated quickly and looked panicked. He exclaimed, the 3rd level of the True Yuan realm. You are actually the 3rd level of the True Yuan realm. Lin Zhenchen never expected that he still underestimated Yulan Keming. I thought he was only at the 2nd level of the True Essence realm. If this is the case, he still has the strength to fight. But the current situation was too much for him to deal with. Although there is only one level of difference, a slight difference can make a difference of 1,000 miles. The gap in strength is not generally large. What's more, strictly speaking, the two of them are 2 realms apart. This is no longer a gap he can make up. The Lin family were also shocked and frightened at the same time. Those who are at the 3rd level of the True Yuan realm are all extremely powerful in Yancheng. It's not something they can understand. Usually he is the head of the family, or he is also the emperor of the family. He has always been reclusive and rarely shows up. In the Yulan family, Yulan Keming is just an unranked 6th master. It actually made the Lin family so powerless. Lin Zhenchen also felt despair. He knew that he might not be able to protect Xiaozi, or even the Lin family. At this time, Yulan Keming didn't waste much time. While quickly attacking Lin Zhenchen, he said coldly, I didn't want to kill your Lin family completely. Since you are so ignorant, I will let your Lin family completely disappear from this world today. Lin Zhenchen couldn't stop him at all. No matter from any angle, he found that he could not block the blow. Simply closed his eyes, until a faint voice sounded. Really, I'm afraid you don't have this chance. No one expected that Lin Chen would actually stand up. A waste in everyone's eyes. He actually stood up. What was even more incomprehensible was that he was standing in front of Lin Zhenshin at this moment. With just one hand, he blocked Yulin Kemming's powerful and heavy killing attack. It seemed like I had done something insignificant. He is at the peak of the body tempering realm, but he is practicing two unknown techniques he created at the same time. Lin Chen didn't know how many levels he could fight in, but he didn't think it would be difficult to deal with Yulin Kemming. Because he knew when Yulin Kemming took action that Yulin Kemming's power was far inferior to his own. Even if his cultivation level is higher than mine. The Lin family members were stunned. Many people couldn't help but wipe their eyes. I am afraid that I am dazzled. But the fact just happened in front of everyone. Lin Yuanbai seemed to be numb today. Suddenly he remembered many strange things Lin Chen said before. It seemed like there was an explanation at this moment. It turns out that his son is not a waste, he may have just been pretending before. Maybe it's because he is low-key. Perhaps he was afraid that others would get rid of him while he was still young. But there is no doubt that Lin Chen is nothing like he imagined. Chenur. You even hid it from me. It's really hard for me to hide it. Lin Yuanbai complained and sighed at the same time, but was also excited at the same time. Proud of his son, but he didn't know that he was completely wrong. The world of cheating is an existence that he cannot understand. When he tried to understand a jerk, he was already wrong. Lin Zhenshin had opened his eyes at this moment and took a step back in fear. Is this really Lin Chen? Waste, haha, it turned out that I was the waste, and everyone in the Lin family had misjudged Lin Chen. While Lin Zhenshin sighed, his heart trembled. A little purple has already made him feel like God's blessing. It even feels like a dream. Now there is Lin Chen, an even more terrifying genius. Lin Zhenshin doesn't know what's going on with the Lin family. Have you hit a genius nest? The peak of the body tempering realm. Lin Zhenshin could see Lin Chen's cultivation level at a glance. But it was able to block Yulin Kemming, who even he couldn't do anything about. Can this still be described as genius? The word monster may be more suitable for him. The peak of the body tempering realm, rivaling the third level of the true element realm. Lin Chen is only in his early 20s. Aren't we going to stand at the top of the Tianlong continent in the future? Then the Lin family. This is much more exaggerated than if Xiaozi defeated Yulin at the third level of body tempering at the 10th level of qi refining. It's simply a difference in quantity. Chenur, well done. In the end, Lin Zhenshin could only hold back this sentence to express his shock. Yu Lanruo has been watching, with a look of confidence and cruelty on her face. After the Lin family was expelled today, no one would know that she lost to a maid at the 10th level of qi refining. She is still the beautiful girl of heaven. But the situation in front of me was too shocking. Lin Chen, he turns out to be so strong. This kind of talent is much better than Jun Buchan. Am I doing everything wrong? At this moment, a trace of regret suddenly rose in Yu Lanruo's heart. If he had maintained a relationship with Lin Chen, even cared about him more, and then got married, then she may truly stand at the top of the world in the future. This is a genius who is more than one level better than Jun Wuchen. But it was too late. Yu Lanruo reacted. Things have reached this point and are beyond her control. She knew that if Lin Chen didn't die, her Yulin family would be the unlucky one. Thinking of this, Yu Lanruo shouted to Yulin Kemming, Uncle Six, you must kill him. At this moment, Yulin Kemming couldn't help but swallow a mouthful of saliva. He had not expected this situation in any way. But he quickly reacted and took a step back. Putting his numb palms behind his back, he even felt fear in his heart. A young man in the body-quenching realm. He actually blocked a full blow from the third level of his true element realm. This can no longer be described as terrible. This person must die, even worse than Xiaozi. Once he is allowed to live for a day, the Yulin family may be destroyed at any time. There is no peaceful day to live. Yulin Kemming also regretted it. I originally thought this was just a formality to break off the engagement. But he didn't expect to provoke such two evil geniuses. Offended people who shouldn't be offended. He must die. He must be killed. While he is still in his infancy, he has not yet broken through to the true element realm. Thinking of this, Yulin Kemming also went crazy. Run your own skills with all your strength. Suddenly, 2 substantial sword energies were produced in his hand. He quickly attacked Lin Chen. At this moment, the system prompt sounded suddenly. Ding! Congratulations to the host for feeling the fluctuations of the sword energy and creating the technique, Heavenly Sword Supreme Ju. Another technique was created. It instantly circulated in Lin Chen's body. It is no weaker than the first 2 created techniques. At this moment, Lin Chen was equivalent to running 3 skills at the same time. Stronger is better than a point. Looking at Yulin Kemming, who was attacking quickly, Lin Chen had a hint of disdain in his eyes. He said calmly, "Do you deserve to be called sword energy? Today, I will let you feel it." Wang Jian returns to the clan. The moment Lin Chen activated the Heavenly Sword Supreme technique, he had completely reached the maximum level. At this moment, he let nature take its course and used it, instantly generating substantial sword energy all over his body. Just by looking at it, one can feel how terrifying it is. "No!" Yulin Kemming shouted in horror. "It's too late to quit." He rushed directly into Lin Chen's Wanjian Guizhong. Ah! Violent screams sounded. It didn't last long. The next moment, Yulin Kemming's flesh, blood and clothes were all reduced to crumbs. After the sword energy around Lin Chen disappeared, only the dregs of Yulin Kemming were left. Instant kill. Hiss. Everyone gasped. Yulin Kemming, a 3rd-level expert in the true Yuan realm, was instantly killed by Lin Chen with one blow. The shock can be imagined. 10,000 swords returned to the sect. What level of skill can this be used to perform? Just one look at that sword energy makes the soles of your feet shiver. Quiet and excited discussions resounded inside the Lin family. In an instant, countless people from the Lin family looked at Lin Chen with admiration. In the Lin family, or in the entire Tianlong continent, it is so straightforward. If you are strong, you will be respected by others. If you are weak, you will be looked down upon. Quick, stop them! Lin Zhenshan suddenly shouted loudly. At this moment, when Lin Chen was killing Yulin Kemming, Yulin Ruo had already led the members of the Yulin family to run for their lives. They didn't dare to stay for a moment. They want to go back to Yulin's house and tell the Yulin family the news. Then he took the entire Yulin family out to kill Lin Chen while he was still in the body tempering realm. This blow looks very handsome. Also very powerful. However, the power consumed was beyond Lin Chen's imagination. But this strike of Wanjian Guizhong drained all his spiritual power. There is no way to chase Yulanruo and the others at this moment. However, the Lin family also had experts who went over to try to temporarily stop them. Lin Zhenshan ordered. He saw that Lin Chen used too much force in this attack. He quickly threw a pill to Lin Chen and said, "Chen'er, take this elixir first, and we'll stop them first." Lin Chen was not polite and just threw the spirit recovery pill into his mouth. The pill of restoration is very precious, and not many people in the Lin family have it. But it can help people quickly recover their spiritual energy. After taking it, Lin Chen instantly felt that the spiritual power in his body was recovering rapidly. Lin Zhenshan is not stupid either. At this moment, his eyes were fierce. With many masters from the Lin family, they must stop Lin Chen before he recovers his spiritual power. Otherwise, these people will definitely tell the Yulin family when they go back. When the time comes for the entire Yulin family to mobilize, no matter how powerful Lin Chen is, he may not be able to resist. Lin Chen had such a monster talent, all he needed was time. Lin Zhenshan knew this very well and could not let these people go back to report the news. But Lin Zhenshan didn't know that the time Lin Chen needed was too short. It was so short that he couldn't even imagine it. Even if these people went back to report the news, by the time they came over again, they would no longer be Lin Chen's opponent. It will take at least a few days to go back to Yulin's house from Lin's house and then come back after submitting the letter. At that time, I didn't know how strong Lin Chen was. At this moment, Lin Chen concentrated on restoring the spiritual power in his body. He was also watching the Yulin family members who were escaping. As his spiritual power gradually recovered, he also chased after the people of the Yulin family. Now that they have become enemies, Lin Chen will naturally not let them go. Everyone in the Yulin family was shocked when they saw this. Running faster, but he was soon stopped by people from the Lin family. Although he is no match for these people from the Yulin family, the advantage is that he is at the Lin family's home court and there are many people. Seeing that they couldn't run away, the Yulin family started to take action. Suddenly some people from the Lin family were knocked away. But this also delayed the speed of escape, and was directly caught up by Lin Genshin and others. Among the people coming to the Yulin family this time, there are many powerful people in the True Yuan realm. There was no hesitation at this moment, and the shots were powerful. Lin Genshin was no match and was forced to retreat. But it is much better than facing Yulin Kemming. These 5 True Yuan realm experts are not as good as Wu Yang Kemming. Lin Genshin is not afraid of people at the same level as him. At this time, Lin Chen also chased after him. His spiritual power had returned to normal, and he directly slapped a strong man from the Yulin family True Yuan realm to death with one palm. Another instant kill. It made the people of the Yulin family tremble. Separate immediately. Under Yu Lanruo's command, he began to attack Xiaozi. They could see that Lin Chen and Xiaozi had a good relationship. In this case, as long as Xiaozi is captured, Lin Chen will definitely take action. 2 people went over to attack Xiaozi, and the remaining people besieged Lin Chen together. After all, he has only just recovered half of his spiritual power. Although Lin Chen was not in danger, facing such a siege, he was temporarily blocked for a moment. And Xiaozi is no match for the True Yuan realm. Lin Chen also had no intention of fighting. He directly kicked the 2 Yulin family True Yuan realms away with his 2 feet, and in a flash, they headed towards Xiaozi's direction. The 2 True Yuan realm experts are naturally extremely fast. With smiles on their faces, they stretched out their hands as if they could already see the scene of catching Xiaozi. Then they will have a way out. Unfortunately, they underestimated Lin Chen's speed. Run 3 super skills at the same time. Lin Chen's speed was beyond their imagination. The other members of the Yulin family couldn't even catch up with his exhaust. Just when these 2 people looked proud and were about to touch Xiaozi, they were shocked to find that Xiaozi not only did not show fear, but also smiled with surprise. Xiaozi saw Lin Chen right behind these 2 people at this moment. The next moment, the 2 people's heads were directly stepped on the ground by Lin Chen. The brains were scattered all over the floor. He immediately lost his breath. Another instant kill. They don't know what happened until they die. Master, thank you, Xiaozi shouted sweetly. Lin Chen smiled and nodded. Ah! Suddenly, a scream rang out, which shocked Lin Chen. Looking not far away, Lin Yuanbai's face was as pale as paper, and he had fallen to the ground with blood spitting out of his mouth. He was severely injured by Yu Lanruo's palm. Lin Yuanbai is only at the 8th level of qi refining. Even though Yu Lanruo looked like a little grasshopper in front of Lin Chen, she didn't even need to use a second move to deal with Lin Yuanbai. No one expected it. While everyone's attention is on Xiaozi, Yu Lanruo suddenly attacked Lin Yuanbai. Yu Lanruo also knew at this moment that she could not escape. But he didn't want to see Lin Chen being proud. At this moment, he was so angry that he didn't care and wanted to kill Lin Yuanbai, making Lin Chen regret it for the rest of his life. Lin Chen's eyes suddenly turned cold. The body instantly disappeared on the spot. The speed was extremely fast, and he appeared in front of Yu Lanruo almost instantly. Without any mercy, he hit Yu Lanruo with a palm. Yu Lanruo flew out upside down. The body was spitting out blood continuously while in the air. He fell to the ground and closed his eyes. There were people around who rushed over to check. Dead, dead. Yu Lanruo is dead. Attacking Lin Yuanbai in front of him naturally aroused Lin Chen's anger. Show no mercy. It's normal to die. After that, Lin Genshin also led people to get rid of the remaining members of the Yulin family. Came over quickly. Seeing Yu Lanruo die, he didn't say much. Looking at Lin Yuanbai, his expression suddenly changed. Lin Yuanbai was his son. Although he didn't live up to expectations, he was still connected by flesh and blood. And now Lin Chen is so talented. If Lin Yuanbai died, Lin Chen would most likely not stay in the Lin family. No matter from any aspect, Lin Genshin could not let anything happen to Lin Yuanbai. Hurry over and check it out. Then luck. After working for a while, Lin Genshin breathed a sigh of relief, but at the same time he sighed, shook his head and looked at Lin Chen and said, "Chenur, I'm sorry, it's all my fault that I didn't protect your father. Although I temporarily protected his heart and let him, it won't lead to death, but it may be very difficult to wake up." Lin Yuanbai was seriously injured. It was so heavy that Lin Genshin couldn't do anything about it. But I was also relieved at the same time. At least his life was temporarily saved. As long as your life is saved, there is always something you can do. Lin Chen naturally understood the meaning of Lin Genshin's words. Asked, "Is there any hope?" Lin Genshin nodded. "There is a way to treat it, but it requires some very precious medicinal materials. My Lin family doesn't have them, and it is difficult to buy them. Only the Hidden Dragon Valley outside the city has these kinds of medicines. But Chanur, don't worry, no matter what price you pay, how much money you spend, even if you spend money to find someone, I will definitely save your father." Lin Genshin guaranteed Lin Chen. Lin Chen is now the hope of the Lin family. If something happened to Lin Yuanbai, Lin Chen would no longer have any worries in the Lin family. Xiaozi will also follow him when the time comes. He didn't want this hope to be dashed. Even if he loses everything, Lin Genshin will find a way to cure Lin Yuanbai. Lin Chen nodded silently after hearing this. As long as there is a way to save it, there will be no problem. He looked at Lin Genshin and asked, "What kind of medicinal materials are they? I can't just sit here. I'll look for it when I turn around." Lin Genshin did not hide anything and answered directly, "Other medicinal materials are easy to find, but 3 medicines are extremely rare. They are only found in the Hidden Dragon Valley, but it is extremely dangerous there. They are 7-star grass, blue blood lotus, and white jade ganoderma. Bu Chanur, you'd better not worry about this and just practice with peace of mind. Just leave such trivial matters to the rest of us." Although Lin Genshin told the truth, but he still didn't want Lin Chen to be implicated in these trivial matters. With such an awesome and evil talent, if he doesn't take advantage of the good time to practice hard, there is no need for him to do such things as running around to find medicinal herbs. Even Lin Genshin has already planned it. Take out all the treasures from the bottom of the box of the Lin family, use all the resources, and use them as they please Lin Chen and Xiaozi. Lin Chen's potential must be stimulated in the shortest possible time, so that he can become an extremely powerful person in a short time. Lin Genshin is a very decisive person. Know when to do what. At this time, it is best to prevent Lin Chen from being distracted. Thinking of this, Lin Genshin looked at Xiaozi and said with a smile, "Xiaozi, from now on you are no longer a maid. From now on you are an official descendant of the Lin family. If you are given the surname Lin, you will also be a member of the Lin family from now on. Are you willing?" Quote, "Many servants and maids in the Lin family have no surnames at all. Many were sold as children, or some orphans." Xiaozi was naturally extremely happy and excited when she heard that she could become a member of the Lin family. She dreamed of becoming a family with Lin Chen. Without thinking much, he nodded in agreement. "Thank you so much, my old master, then I will call you Linzi from now on." Hearing Xiaozi's agreement, Lin Genshin was ecstatic. A big stone in my heart also fell safely. But at this moment, Xiaozi glanced at Lin Chen again and said to Lin Genshin, "Old master, although I have become a member of the Lin family, I still want to serve the young master." After saying that, Xiaozi's eyes were full of hope. She had long been accustomed to being with Lin Chen. He was also used to serving Lin Chen. Even the reason why she was so highly regarded by Lin Genshin was because of Lin Chen. These people have no idea how powerful Lin Chen is. Just give her a skill and she will become a genius among geniuses far beyond what ordinary people think. You can also fight across levels. Xiaozi is not stupid either. The best thing is to follow Lin Chen. Lin Genshin couldn't help but glance at Lin Chen. I felt that I had ignored Lin Chen too much in the past. I never thought that Lin Chen's charm would be so great. With Xiaozi's current talent, he would be a direct disciple of any big force he went to. In the Lin family, it is completely a waste of talent. But even though he knew his situation, he was still so clinging to Lin Chen. It's completely incomprehensible, but Lin Genshin naturally would not refuse. After all, the better the relationship between Xiaozi and Lin Chen, the better the relationship with the Lin family. They are all from the Lin family. Lin Genshin nodded immediately. Okay, of course, you can follow your own wishes. The way I see it, when tomorrow starts, you will move to Lingen Pavilion to live. I will send someone to send all the treasures of our Lin family there. You can just practice without worries. Don't worry about other things. Hiss. The people around him suddenly took a breath of air. They all looked at Lin Chen and Xiaozi with shock and envy. What an awesome treatment this is. Where is Lingen Pavilion? No one is allowed in at all on weekdays. Even Lin Zhenshan only occasionally went there to stay for a while. There is a small spirit gathering array in Lingen Pavilion, and every time it is activated, a large amount of heavenly materials and earthly treasures are burned. From what Lin Zhenshan meant, he planned to keep the spirit gathering array open all day so that the two of them could enjoy the ultimate cultivation treatment. Everyone could tell that Lin Zhenshan was going all in. All the capital accumulated by the Lin family over the years was placed on these two people. But no one dared to say more. His talent deserves such treatment. They can only be envious and jealous. And at the same time, he had already made up his mind that he would have a good relationship with Lin Chen and Xiaozi no matter what in the future. Find a way to curry favor with the two of them. From then on, the Lin family did not follow the trend of prosperity. Hearing Lin Zhenshan's words, Lin Chen waved his hands and said, "No, we are used to living in that place. It would be too troublesome to move to Lingen Pavilion, but we can send all the natural materials and earthly treasures here." Lin Chen still preferred the quiet place before. And he doesn't have to practice at all. Xiaozi needs to practice, and he can use all the treasures from heaven and earth. It can help Xiaozi practice faster. He actually refused. Everyone in the Lin family around was shocked. He looked at Lin Chen in disbelief. This is so irritating. They all dreamed of going to a place, but Lin Chen just refused. If he couldn't beat him, someone would really want to go up and give Lin Chen a meal. But I just dare to think about it. I'm afraid that as soon as I went up, I was crushed to pieces by Lin Zhenshan. For the benefit of the family, Lin Zhenshan will not care about an ordinary Lin family member. Don't talk about other people. Lin Zhenshan's eyes widened and he couldn't help but swallow his saliva. He thought about it a lot, but he never thought that he would be rejected by Lin Chen. After all, Lingen Pavilion was a place even he couldn't bear to visit more often. Lin Zhenshan was about to persuade Lin Chen to focus on cultivation. Lin Chen directly spoke again. "Okay, it's settled. Tomorrow I will go to Hidden Dragon Valley to find those medicinal materials. Remember to send all the heavenly materials and earthly treasures." Finished. Lin Chen turned around. Xiaozi also trotted to keep up. He looked at Lin Chen with admiration. So domineering. He was neither humble nor arrogant in front of Lin Zhenshan, the head of the family. Lin Zhenshan silently watched Lin Chen's leaving figure. His lips moved. This boy. Why is he so domineering now? He scared me just now. Sure enough, Chen'er was probably hiding it on purpose in the past. I asked myself, how could my Lin Zhenshan's grandson be a waste? Ha 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 ha. Lin Zhenshan was not angry at all. Even Lao Huai is relieved. This is the confidence that only the strong have. Lin Zhenshan doesn't like submissive trash, he likes this kind of arrogance with strength. When Lin Chen walked away, Lin Zhenshan looked at the bodies of those in the Yulin family. With a cold look in his eyes, he said, "Throw all these corpses and bury them in the back of the Lin family. No one is allowed to tell anyone about this. If anyone dares to leak any information, don't blame me for not treating him as a member of the family." Although he did this, Lin Zhenshan also knew that this matter could not be kept secret for long. Many people know that the Yulin family members came here. Someone will investigate soon. There will still be a fight with the Yulin family when the time comes. He was just stalling for time. Leave as much time as possible for Lin Chen. After Lin Zhenshan finished speaking, he glanced around. Suddenly everyone in the Lin family trembled in their hearts. No one dared to say anything bad, but everyone nodded. Although Lin Zhenshan looked a little humble in front of Lin Chen and Xiaozi, that was only to these two people. Normally, the old master would not be merciful, and he would not be lenient at all when killing someone. Soon, the Lin family began to deal with the bodies of those in the Yulin family. Throw them all into the back hill. A hole was dug and buried. Until late at night, the soil on the ground surged. Yulanruo lay down from it, with hatred in her eyes. He murmured, "If it weren't for the life-saving pill that Jun Wuchen gave me, I might really have died this time. This life-preserving pill is extremely precious. I begged Jun Wuchen for a long time, and I don't know how many times I flattered you to get it, but it was used here. How disgusting." Lin Chen, just wait for me. I won't let you and the Lin family go. After Yu Lanruo finished speaking, she took advantage of the night and left the Lin family, quickly rushing towards Yulin's house. Early the next morning. Ding, congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the next level, it's another day full of salted fish. A very mechanical system prompt sounded. Lin Chen successfully broke through to the true Yuan realm. Feeling the power that was obviously stronger than the body tempering realm, Lin Chen also felt refreshed. Master. You wake up. Do you really want to go to Hidden Dragon Valley today? Do you want me to go and help? Xiaozi sat up gently and asked. Lin Chen shook his head and said, Xiaozi, my situation is different from yours. You still need to practice more every day to become stronger. Just take advantage of this time to practice hard. I can look for herbs alone. I'll be back in the evening. It's not like I'll never come back. Xiaozi nodded slightly after hearing this. Well, I won't follow you. Xiaozi must practice well and be able to help the young master in the future. Hear this. Lin Chen immediately waved his hand and said with a smile, Master, I don't need your help, just practice hard and protect yourself. Lin Chen didn't need Xiaozi's help. He will level up very quickly. No matter how hard Xiaozi tried, she couldn't catch up with him. But he didn't say that it would dampen Xiaozi's enthusiasm for cultivation. Xiaozi nodded lightly and said nothing more. Anyway, as long as you listen to Lin Chen, it will be fine. After that, Xiaozi helped Lin Chen get dressed. He stood up and said, Master, I'm going to cook first. You can drink tea and rest for a while. As usual, Xiaozi did not change her treatment of Lin Chen because of her improved status in the Lin family. It didn't take long for Xiaozi to prepare a sumptuous breakfast. The two simply started eating. Just after eating, I heard the noise outside. Lin Zhenshen's voice came. You all, please be careful, this is my Lin family's wealth. Lin Zhenshen rushed over early in the morning, bringing with him a large number of Lin family members. There are hundreds of people dragging big boxes over here. It is filled with all kinds of heavenly materials and earthly treasures that are helpful for cultivation. The Lin family's treasure trove was almost emptied. On weekdays, he would sneak in and watch when he had nothing to do. But never willing to use it. This time, for Lin Chen and Xiaozi, he spent a lot of money. Improve Lin Chen and Xiaozi's cultivation as soon as possible at any cost. Otherwise, the Lin family may be in danger by then. He still didn't know that Yu Lanruo was not dead. I think even if the Yulin family knew about this, it would have been a few months later. Otherwise, he would definitely hold Lin Chen down right now and make him work overtime to practice. Or just take everyone in the Lin family and run away. Wait until Lin Chen and Xiaozi rise up before coming back. Although he said to stop slapping, the smile on Lin Zhenshen's face could not be removed at all. He was so happy. He never thought that the Lin family would flourish in his hands. Meeting two such talented and evil descendants. You fools, please slow down a little bit. Our Lin family only has this spirit gathering array. If I damage it, I'll beat you to death. While Lin Zhenshen was speaking, he was startled again. At this moment, more than a dozen people were dragging a large piece of land. And on the land is the Lin family's small spirit gathering array. The shaking of these people just now made Lin Zhenshen's heart beat a lot faster. Even though it is just a small spirit gathering array, it can be said to be the most precious thing of the Lin family. Even in the entire Yan city, families with such small spirit gathering arrays are extremely rare. Something that the Lin family has inherited for hundreds of years. If it gets worse, Lin Zhenshen promises to keep his word. The purpose of bringing it here is also very simple. Lin Chen was unwilling to go to Lingan Pavilion, but Lin Zhenshen was worried if the spirit gathering array was not used. So I might as well have the whole thing moved here. From now on, Lin Chen can also use it in his own residence. It can be said that the service is extremely thoughtful. Yes, we must be careful. The people who moved the spirit gathering formation were all direct members of the Lin family. There were even Lin Chen's elders. Lin Zhenshen was not too relieved to be moved by his servants. At this moment, these people agreed, not to mention how envious they were. This is the spirit gathering array. For the sake of Lin Chen and Xiaozi, he actually asked them to move here. With this kind of treatment, they would never dare to dream like this. And at this moment, Lin Chen and Xiaozi also came out after hearing the commotion. Seeing this scene, Lin Chen was also slightly stunned. I didn't expect Lin Zhenshan to be so natural. Just like moving, the spirit gathering array was also moved here. He doesn't need to practice, he actually has his own skills, and with Xiaozi's talent, it doesn't make much difference whether he has this garbage spirit gathering array or not. All you need are those natural and earthly treasures, which are somewhat useful. He did tell the truth before, but he didn't expect Lin Zhenshan to be able to do this. Seeing this, he couldn't help but shake his head. Now that he has moved here, he naturally can't go back. Nothing more was said. When Lin Zhenshan saw Lin Chen appear, his eyes almost burst into laughter. There was extreme kindness in his eyes. He came over and said with a smile, "Chen'er, wake up. We agreed yesterday to send you all the treasures of heaven, materials and earth. No, I couldn't sleep early in the morning, so I asked someone to dress it up and bring it over for you. There is also the spirit gathering array. It will be somewhat helpful to your cultivation. I will ask them to move it here as well. Are you satisfied with it?" At this moment, his uncles, and cousins from the Lin family had already placed the spirit gathering array in the corner of the small courtyard. It was thoughtfully buried in it, making it look like it was actually there. The spirit gathering array is like a sophisticated instrument with many runes on it. It is refined by professionals. It can be said to be extremely precious. There is also an entrance. Just put in all kinds of heavenly materials and earthly treasures, and the spirit gathering array will be activated. Let Lin Chen's entire courtyard gather a large amount of spiritual energy. For ordinary people, practicing here will speed up a lot. It was somewhat helpful to Xiaozi, although not much. However, Lin Chen still nodded. "Well, I'm quite satisfied, just leave it there." Lin Zhenshan was also very happy when he saw that Lin Chen did not refuse again. Then he thought of something and said, "By the way, Chen'er, when you live here on weekdays, you will definitely have some trivial matters. I have asked hundreds of servants to select people who work quickly. They will come over later. What will happen then? Just let them do it." Hundreds of. Lin Chen was silent again. I looked at my little yard. Can it hold so many people? Lin Zhenshan noticed Lin Chen's gaze and knew what he was thinking. Immediately he patted his head again and said, "Look, I didn't say everything. It's like this. Your place is indeed a bit small, but if you get used to it, I won't force you to go to other places. I plan to build a few more houses a little further away from your yard, so that there won't be too much noise on weekdays to disturb you. When the time comes, let those servants live there and take turns taking care of your daily life." Hearing this, Lin Chen nodded slightly. I thought this was pretty much it. Otherwise, hundreds of servants would crowd in all at once, and he wouldn't even have a place to bask in the sun. Xiaozi has been following him for so long. Naturally, we can't let Xiaozi do everything. After suffering for so long, it's time to enjoy happiness on your own. He nodded. Well, from now on the servants will all listen to Xiaozi. This is natural. Lin Zhenshan finished speaking with a smile, and then looked at Lin Chen in shock. Because of the shock, his body took several steps back before it stabilized. "Chen'er. Are you in the true Yuan realm?" Others couldn't tell, but Lin Zhenshan, who was also in the true Yuan realm, was so close to Lin Chen, and finally discovered this. I was almost scared to death when I reacted at this moment. Only one night has passed. Monsters can't be so monsters. Others, including Lin Chen's uncles and cousins, were so frightened that their legs softened and they looked at Lin Chen in disbelief. Lin Chen nodded slightly. "Yes, I just broke through this morning. It's just the first level of the true Yuan realm, no need to make such a fuss." Lin Chen waved his hand indifferently. In a few days, the true Yuan realm will become a thing of the past for him. At the first level of the true Yuan realm, these people are making such a fuss. After a few days, these people won't go crazy. Hiss. When Lin Chen nodded in recognition, everyone took a breath of cold air at the same time. This is the true Yuan realm. It was actually said so lightly by Lin Chen. In the entire Lin family, Lin Zhenshan is the only one who is strong in the true Yuan realm. But he has been able to join the big families in Yancheng. It is conceivable that the true Yuan realm is rare. And now, a new true Yuan realm powerhouse has been born in the Lin family. Lin Chen, who was only in his early 20s, had accomplished something that many people would find difficult to achieve in their lifetime. From now on, this will be the backbone of the Lin family. They can't even imagine their future achievements. I can only bow down and worship. Everyone was excited. This is the big treasure of their Lin family. As long as you have a good relationship with Lin Chen, you will definitely be able to prosper in the future. Those families who looked down on them before will rush to curry favor with them in the future. Even the Lord of Yancheng will be nothing in front of the Lin family in the future. This is the horror of a super genius. He is fully capable of leading a family to glory. Those uncles and uncles who didn't care much about Lin Chen before now felt secretly regretful in their hearts. Why didn't they think of establishing a good relationship with Lin Chen when he was in despair before? But at the same time, I was secretly glad. Although I was very disdainful in the past, I didn't say too many unpleasant words to hurt the face of the Lin family. At this moment, everyone suddenly smiled and flattered Lin Chen. Chen'er, I have long seen that you are not a thing in the pond. You will turn into a dragon when encountering a storm. Your future achievements are limitless. It is exactly what I thought. You are really a good son of my Lin family. Yes, Chen'er, my uncle cared less about you in the past, but I promise he won't in the future. Xiaoling admires you very much. I will ask her to talk to you more often when she has nothing to do. Xiaoling is this uncle's daughter. She is also Lin Chen's cousin. In order to curry favor with Lin Chen, he has already planned to let his daughter spend more time with Lin Chen. Okay, stop talking nonsense. From now on in the Lin family, whatever Chen'er says is what I said. Lin Zhenshin waved his sleeves, unable to stand these people. I had never seen them treat Lin Chen so well before. After saying that, Lin Zhenshin looked at Lin Chen excitedly. When Lin Chen was in the body tempering stage, he was stronger than he was in the true Yuan stage. Now in the true Yuan realm, Lin Zhenshin couldn't even imagine it. Even if Lin Chen wanted his position as the head of the family, it was just a matter of words. He agrees without thinking. The voice became more kind and said, Chen'er, why don't you go to Hidden Dragon Valley and practice at home? Hidden Dragon Valley is quite dangerous. If anything happens to you, our Lin family will be doomed. Lin Zhenshin, who had originally agreed with Lin Chen to go to Hidden Dragon Valley, now wanted to change his mind. I really didn't want Lin Chen to go out and wander around. Just afraid that something unexpected might happen. That was something he absolutely couldn't accept. Lin Chen waved his hand. Needless to say, other people are so weak, I don't know when they will find it, but I happen to be fine and go to stretch my muscles. Just kidding, he can't just stay in the yard all day long. How boring that is. Moreover, these people were so weak. When they found those medicinal herbs, Lin Yuanbai would probably burp. These words immediately blocked Lin Zhenshin and those uncles. His face looked awkward. They never thought that one day they would be despised by a junior. But this junior was still telling the truth. Their strength is not weak in the entire Yan city. It was actually said to be bad. This is what Lin Chen said. If there was another person, they would kill him alive in the morning. Okay Chen'er, since you have already made your plans, I won't say much more, but I'd better ask your second uncle and third uncle to follow you, otherwise I won't worry and will let them attack you. Second and third, you guys come here and follow Chen'er, and you will do whatever Chen'er says from now on. The second and third heads of the Lin family became Lin Chen's followers with just a casual word from Lin Zhenshin. The two of them don't have any opinions yet. He stood up happily. This is an opportunity to build a good relationship with Lin Chen. Make other uncles and uncles envious. Lin Chen's second uncle and third uncle were both muscular, while the other was lean and tall. The second uncle Lin, who is the strong one. He has no hair on his head and has a very shiny bald head. Third uncle Lin Chengfeng looks tall and thin, with a sinister look in his eyes that makes him feel like he is not easy to mess with. At this moment, Lin Chen was looking at him with a smile on his face. Third uncle Lin Chengfeng said, Chen'er, if you have any orders from now on, just tell me, we will all obey you. The Lin family respects the strong. There is no doubt that Lin Chen's strength is far above them now. But he didn't dare to regard Lin Chen as his junior. Second uncle Lin, who also smiled and nodded. Yes, yes, Chenur, when do you plan to set off? Just tell us, we will take care of you. Lin Chen glanced at the two of them. But he didn't refuse again. Lin Zhenshan from the province gave endless persuasion. Let's do it now. The sooner we find it, the better. It's nothing. The second uncle and the third uncle all nodded. At this moment, there was a sudden sound. Everyone present was a master, and even though it was coming from inside Xiaozi's body, they could all hear it clearly. They all looked at Xiaozi in shock. Body-quenching state. Lin Zhenshan was trembling when he spoke. Just breakthrough in front of their eyes. This almost made their hearts almost jump out. The eyes of those directly connected to the Lin family who had been unable to follow Lin Chen were all brightened. Lin Chen couldn't please him if he wanted to go out. Isn't this Xiaozi at home? As long as they help Xiaozi more, they can establish a good relationship with Lin Chen. And this is also a monster. But under Lin Chen's cover, it didn't look so dazzling. Lin Chen's eyes also lit up. Xiaozi's talent was really good. After touching Xiaozi's head, Lin Chen said, "Okay, I'll leave first. You can practice well at home." "Well, master, come back soon." After that, Lin Chen turned around and set off. Second uncle Lin Hu and third uncle Lin Chengfeng quickly followed. Lin Zhenshan also led people to deliver Lin Chen to the door of Lin's house. When he saw Lin Chen walking away, he reluctantly went back. The Lin family still needs him to be in charge, otherwise he would want to go with Lin Chen. Hidden Dragon Valley. According to legend, a divine dragon once appeared here, hence the name Hidden Dragon Valley. But no one has ever seen it with their own eyes, it's just a legend. The Hidden Dragon Valley is extremely dangerous, and usually the elders of the family take the younger ones to practice outside. The 3 medicinal herbs Lin Chen was looking for were all located deeper in the Hidden Dragon Valley. That's why Lin Zhenshan was worried. Deep into the Hidden Dragon Valley, even entering the true Yuan realm would be extremely dangerous. Lin Chen and the others were already inside the Hidden Dragon Valley. As soon as we entered the periphery, we encountered some low-level monsters. He launched an attack on several people, but without Lin Chen taking action, he was naturally dealt with by Lin Hu and Lin Chengfeng who were following him. Lin Zhenshan was worried that these little miscellaneous fish would affect Lin Chen, so he sent 2 people to help him. This moment comes into full play. After the 2 of them dealt with those low-level monsters, they also felt a sigh of relief. The 2 of them were the second in command of the Lin family after all, but now they were reduced to thugs. But it's okay, he was following Lin Chen. At this moment, he easily dealt with these low-level monsters and returned to Lin Chen again. As they walked, Lin Hu asked curiously, "Chenur, my second uncle has always had a question in his mind. Now that he has come out, let me ask, what happened to the 10,000 swords Guizhong you used before? What level of martial arts? It feels so powerful. And I also felt that the power emitted by my body at that time was not like our Lin family's kung fu." Third uncle Lin Chengfeng on the side also raised his ears when he heard this. He was actually very curious. To be precise, many people in the Lin family are quite curious. But no one dared to ask more questions. After all, Lin Chen's status is different now, and his status in the Lin family is even more respected than that of Lin Zhenshan. It would be really troublesome if Lin Chen was made unhappy. It was Lin Hu who asked the question. Lin Chengfeng thought so and quite envied Lin Hu. Dare to ask any questions. Even if he had doubts about such a secret matter as the cultivation technique, he would not dare to ask about it. But Lin Chen didn't care about these things. He said casually, "Well, it is indeed not the Lin family's technique. There is also Wanjian Guizhong, which has no level. It is all my own creation. Do you want to learn it? If you want to learn it, I can teach you." Lin Chen really wasn't bragging. Any technique that comes to him will be at full level instantly. After mastering the skills, the moves you can use at will are all advanced martial arts that others cannot understand. He can create top-notch skills by triggering them at will. Lin Chen was very wealthy and didn't care at all. Others can only practice one technique. Even if it were passed down to everyone and practice the same technique as him, they still wouldn't be able to defeat him. Because he practiced 3 exercises at the same time, and could do more in the future. So he doesn't care at all. This is the strong self-confidence brought by strength. Don't ask, asking is strong. Invincible. Hearing this, Lin Hu and Lin Changfeng were stunned. Create your own technique. The two of them wondered if their ears had heard wrongly. Even if Lin Chen is very powerful and is now in the true Yuan realm, creating his own skills is too exaggerated. What kind of strong person can do this? At this moment, they couldn't help but wonder if Lin Chen was bragging. I don't know where I got a technique from, so I just say it's my own creation. But then he thought again, there was no need for Lin Chen to lie to them. Even more confused, I can only think that this may be the awesomeness of a monster-level genius. They didn't dare to question it casually. Then everyone reacted and looked at Lin Chen blankly. Teach them. In other words, can Lin Chen teach them this technique? They saw that kind of amazing power last time. Astonished. Now that I know that it is indeed not the Lin family's technique, I guess it is at least a high-grade Zon level technique. Even though they are the second and third boss of the Lin family. What he was practicing was just the Lin family's strongest Xuanji low-grade technique. If it's really what they guessed. That was absolutely terrifying. Lin Chen was actually able to create a top-grade Zon level technique. If this gets out, I'm afraid those legendary forces will come to fight for Lin Chen. After all, I have never heard of such a thing. Thinking of this, Lin Hu and Lin Changfeng nodded repeatedly without any hesitation. Of course we are willing. Chen'er, do you really plan to pass it on to us? Lin Chen waved his hands indifferently. I'm too lazy to tell lies. Since you want to learn, you just listen. After that, Lin Chen passed on the Heavenly Sword Supreme technique to the two of them. After the two accepted it, they were immediately shocked. The operation route of this technique makes them feel obscure and difficult to understand just by hearing it. Everyone immediately looked at Lin Chen in embarrassment. Lin Changfeng opened his mouth and said, Chen'er is indeed a genius that is rare to see in my Lin family for 1,000 years. These skills have been mastered and can be passed on to others, but there are many things that I don't understand. I hope Chen'er, please give me some advice. After saying that, both of them blushed. But I was even more amazed in my heart. Let's not talk about creating exercises for now. To be able to teach the technique to others, the person must be extremely proficient in the technique. Otherwise it wouldn't be possible. Lin Chen didn't expect that these two people were so talented. But when I think about it, if he had good talent, he wouldn't have broken through to the true element realm by now. As he walked, he gave them some brief instructions. The two of them immediately benefited a lot. They originally practiced the Lin family's Zon level low-grade technique, Lu Xinju. But if you want to practice the skills given by Lin Chen, you must abolish the original skills and reoperate the Heavenly Sword Supreme technique. But both of them have the foundation. This is not difficult for them. Soon, the two people began to run the Heavenly Sword Supreme technique unceremoniously. From the slow and uncomfortable operation at the beginning, to the rapid operation later, the two of them quickly felt the benefits of the Heavenly Sword Supreme technique. They all began to sit cross-legged on the ground. When Lin Chen saw this, he didn't urge him. The Heavenly Sword Supreme technique is such a powerful technique, and the amount of spiritual energy it can absorb during operation is far beyond what the Lu Xinju can compare with. Moreover, long-term practice can also improve physical fitness. Because Lin Chen didn't have to practice, he didn't feel this at all. But for Lin Hu and Lin Changfeng, this feeling was the deepest. For a moment, both of them felt that their bodies were filled with powerful energy. The Heavenly Sword Supreme technique itself is an offensive technique. When spiritual power enters the body, it will turn into sword energy. Become one with the practitioners, so that he can use his sword energy in the future. It can be said that those with slightly weaker physiques may explode and die. But it's okay. Lin Hu and Lin Changfeng themselves were at the peak of the body tempering realm. It only takes one final kick to break through to the true element realm. Of course, there is nothing to say about physical fitness. Although it feels very uncomfortable. But he still couldn't suppress his excitement. At this moment, they just want to shout loudly, earned it. Earned it. Unlike Lin Chen, they live a long time. Also more knowledgeable. Although I was shocked at this moment, I had to admit one thing. That was the technique that Lin Chen gave them, which far exceeded the Zon level. At least it's an Earth level technique. It might even be a Heaven level technique. However, they have never seen such techniques in their entire lives. Of course we can only guess. They couldn't understand how Lin Chen created such a technique. Then isn't Lin Chen a god? But it did not hinder their inner shock and ecstasy at this moment. I knew I would make a lot of money by following Lin Chen out this time. This shitty luck can make them catch up. In the previous life, they must have burned incense on their ancestors' graves. Boom, boom. There were 2 dull explosions in succession. The second Uncle Lin Hu and the third Uncle Lin Chengfeng's hair moved freely, and the clothes on their bodies also swelled. The next moment, the 2 of them let out 2 long roars at the same time. The low-level monsters that were close to him fled in all directions in shock. Breakthrough. The 2 of them broke through together at this moment, and both reached the first level of the true essence realm. Just by practicing the techniques given by Lin Chen, he achieved this major breakthrough. If it weren't for Lin Chen's skills, even if they were given a lifetime, they would not have the confidence to reach the true Yuan realm. But now, it's so easy. Shocking. Ecstasy. Lin Chen was not surprised. He himself knew that the techniques he gave were very powerful. With such a powerful technique, pigs can even take off. In Tianlong continent, some forces can even be passed down for thousands of years. It's because they have super powerful skills inheritance. In addition, there are countless talented disciples, far beyond what Lin Hu and Lin Chengyuan can compare with. Skills, resources and talents have created their glory. It is undoubtedly much more difficult for ordinary people to turn over. The technique Lin Chen gave them was equivalent to giving 2 beggars money that could rival other countries. Suddenly they became the richest people. With this level of giving, no matter what Lin Chen asked the 2 of them to do now, they would not even frown. Even if Lin Chen asked them to send their daughter over to sleep with him, both of them would not hesitate. After all, being able to follow Lin Chen is simply a blessing gained in the previous life. From now on, Lin Chen will definitely be the man standing at the top of this continent. If you don't take advantage of this moment to hug your thighs firmly, you may not even be able to catch up with the exhaust fumes in the future. The 2 men stood up. Lin Chen's eyes were filled with gratitude. They all dream that one day they can break through to the true element realm. Unexpectedly, a skill randomly given by Lin Chen did it. Chen'er, second uncle will do whatever you ask him to do from now on. Second uncle will obey you. You are his god. Lin Hu was the first to express his stance. That's right. As long as you give an order from Chen'er, I can send my third uncle up to the mountain of swords and down to the sea of fire, and he won't even frown. Lin Chengfeng also patted his chest and promised. Lin Chen didn't expect the 2 of them to be so excited. Nodding lightly. Okay, we'll talk about this later. Since it's settled, let's go. Yes, it's important to find the medicinal herbs first to save your father. The 2 nodded repeatedly. Then Lin Hu said, but Chen'er, don't have too much hope. I'm afraid this won't happen in a day or 2. The Hidden Dragon Valley is very large. These 3 medicinal materials are only rumored to be found inside and are rarely exposed to the outside. But don't worry, we will try our best to find him, and the old man has also sent people to look for him from other locations, so you can't be too anxious. Lin Chen nodded. At this moment, the 2 of them had just walked a few steps. A voice with a hint of anger and yin and yang came out. Hey, who am I talking about? It turns out to be someone from the Lin family. I thought it was some kind of treasure. But there was such a big movement just now. Hearing this, Lin Chen and the others immediately looked towards the voice. A man with a feminine face. Followed by a middle-aged man wearing a python robe. There were a few people beside him. The 3 people looked at each other with disdain in their eyes. Hearing this person speak, Lin Hu and Lin Chengfeng suddenly looked unhappy, but after seeing these people, they also showed slightly surprised expressions. Lin Chen also looked over, slightly surprised. At this moment, several people seemed to have just arrived. The power in his body has not dissipated yet. It can make people clearly feel their cultivation strength. 5 true element realms. The feminine man who spoke just now is also in the true Yuan realm, but at the first level of the true Yuan realm. The most powerful one is the man in python robe standing at the front. His cultivation strength has reached the 4th level of the true Yuan realm. This kind of terrifying strength is also the power of the top family in Yanchang. Lin Chen knew this person. He is from the Wang family in Yanchang. The leader is Wang Sihai, the current head of the Wang family. The feminine man who spoke was Wang Yanyan, the third head of the Wang family. Apart from the two of them, there are 3 true Yuan realm powerhouses. There is 1 at the 3rd level of the True Essence realm and 2 at the 2nd level of the True Essence realm. Only Wang Yanyan is the weakest in the True Yuan realm. But facing the Lin family, he also has the capital to be timid. At least the Lin family in the past was not in the eyes of the Wang family at all. There are 5 true Yuan realm experts in one sect, which even the Lin family cannot catch up with. In the past, Lin Hu and Lin Chengfeng would not even dare to show their unhappy expressions. He apologized directly and left. But it's different now. They are also already in the true Yuan realm. And Lin Chen is here. When Lin Chen was in the body tempering realm, he could easily kill Yulan Keming, who was at the 3rd level of the true Yuan realm. Now that they are in the true Yuan realm, the mere Wang family is not worthy of mentioning at all. I don't know if he was infected by Lin Chen's domineering attitude. Now the two people's hearts are extremely expanded. Even they themselves didn't notice it. Hearing Wang Yanyan's words, Lin Chengfeng smiled and said lightly, "Haha, then your trip was really in vain, I'm sorry." It looked like an apology, but it sounded as sinister as Wang Yanyan's tone. Poof! Lin Hu, who was a little stunned, burst out laughing. Everyone in the Wang family suddenly looked unhappy. Wang Sihai, the head of the Wang family, also narrowed his eyes. When did the Lin family become so bold? Even if you don't say hello to him when you see him, you dare to confront him tit for tat. He immediately looked towards Lin Hu and Lin Chengfeng. He was slightly startled. Because the two of them had just broken through, their bodies were still overflowing with energy. Wang Sihai easily discovered that the two of them were already in the true Yuan realm. And coupled with the previous movements, it was instantly guessed that the two had just broken through. Wang Sihai can see it, and so can other members of the Wang family. They were also shocked, although the Lin family is considered a big family in Yancheng. But in the eyes of the Wang family, they were nothing more than local chickens and dogs. And now 2 true Yuan realms were born all at once. Plus Lin Zhenshan, that's 3 true Yuan realms. He can barely reach the threshold of the top families in Yancheng. But is this their courage? That's really ridiculous. I'm afraid they don't know the strength of the old top families. I don't know how big the gap is between each level of the true element realm. Wang Yanyan also laughed directly, laughing very wantonly, with ridicule on his face. Ha 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 ha, I asked you why are you so stubborn? It turns out you just broke through to the true Yuan realm, or both of them at once. I really don't know what kind of shit luck you have. After saying that, he looked cold again. Do you think you can show off in front of our Wang family like this? Ha ha, I don't dare. I just broke through and feel good. If there is any offense, please forgive me. If there's nothing else, we'll leave first if we have something else to do. Lin Chengfeng said this. At this moment, he calmed down and knew that Lin Chen was looking for 7-star grass, blue blood lotus and white jade ganoderma. He didn't want to waste Lin Chen's time because of the dispute with the Wang family. His tone also softened a bit. But what Wang Yanyan said next made all 3 of Lin Chen's eyes light up. Ha ha, I know what you are going to do. Has anyone in your Lin family been seriously injured? The news has been released since early in the morning, and we will purchase 7-star grass, blue blood lotus and white jade ganoderma at any cost. That's really unfortunate. We also need to find the 7-star grass, and we also know its location. The Lin family did not hide the news about these medicinal materials. I just hope that the more people know about it, the better. No one knows who was injured anyway. But it's easy to guess. After all, these herbs can only be used by people who have been seriously injured. Upon hearing this, Lin Chen didn't wait for Lin Chengfeng to speak, and said first, do you know the location of the 7-star grass? If so, tell me and I will give you a skill as a reward. Although Lin Chen didn't really like the way the Wang family spoke. But considering that Lin Yuanbai still needs help, he is willing to pay for the position of Kixingsao. The Wang family had no idea how terrifying the technique given by Lin Chen was. After being stunned for a moment, everyone laughed with disdain, including Wang Sihai, the head of the Wang family. Ha 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 ha. Wang Yanyan burst into laughter. Kung Fu. You actually said that you want to give me skills as reward. Are you going to laugh me to death? Ha, it looks familiar. Isn't this the talented junior from the Lin family? I heard that his dantian has been destroyed and he has become a waste. I didn't expect that he can talk quite wildly. Wang Yanyan burst into tears from laughter. I feel like today really wasn't in vain. Wang Yanyan recognized Lin Chen. Although Lin Chen has long been called a waste. But 5 years ago, he was still the boy who was known as the #1 genius in Yan City. At that time, Lin Chen was still dazzling, and many people in Yancheng remembered him. Even though it has been so long, it is still fresh in my memory. But Wang Yanyan didn't care. He even almost laughed to the point of peeing when he heard that Lin Chen was going to give him a skill. Your Lin family's exercises are just low-grade Zon level exercises. Do you know what level of exercises our Wang family practices? I'm not afraid to tell you, they are top-grade Zon level ones. Lin Yanyan showed a burst of pride as he spoke. It's because of such high-level skills, otherwise there wouldn't be 5 true Yuan realm experts in one family. And Lin Chen actually wanted to give them the exercises. This seemed like a big joke to him. It's not just Wang Yanyan. The rest of the Wang family, including Wang Sihai, the head of the Wang family, couldn't help laughing at this moment. He smiled and shook his head. I didn't expect that the Lin family would be so big fools. After leaving 2 true Yuan realms, do you think your family is invincible? Lin Hu and Lin Changfeng, who were beside Lin Chen, looked at the Wang family members as if they were fools. These people had no idea how awesome the skills Lin Chen gave them were. What a great opportunity this is for the Wang family. Unfortunately, they missed it perfectly. Give them a chance and they'll be useless. Wang Yanyan continued to laugh and said, are you Lin family members so young? You actually let a junior talk wildly in front of us. Does it mean that he has the final say in your Lin family? After Wang Yanyan said this, he looked at Lin Hu and Lin Changfeng. Lin Chen was so small, so the two of them had to scold him. Others in the Wang family thought the same way. But soon, something happened that shocked them. Lin Hu and Lin Changfeng actually nodded. Lin Changfeng said with a smile, congratulations on your correct answer. Chenur really has the final say in our Lin family now. Whatever the old man says, it will be whatever he says. What? Everyone in the Wang family was shocked. Somewhat shocking. 2 people in the true Yuan realm, including the entire Lin family, would actually listen to such a loser. Not to mention Wang Yanyan, Wang Sihai also looked at Lin Chen in disbelief. Soon, Wang Sihai showed a shocked expression. Although Lin Chen did not fight, he showed no energy fluctuations. But his perception was extremely sensitive, and now he could see Lin Chen's cultivation strength after taking a closer look. It turned out to be the first level of True Essence realm. In other words, the Lin family now has 4 first-level True Yuan realms. This is not the scariest thing. The most terrifying thing is that Lin Chen is still so young. Since he has such cultivation, it means that Lin Chen's dantian has recovered. He has been able to practice. Become that dazzling genius again. In this case, it is understandable that the Lin family would listen to a junior. Wang Yanyan couldn't see this, and when he heard this, he thought Lin Changfeng said it deliberately. After reacting, he continued to laugh. Haha, you want the location of 7-star grass, right? The map is here with me. If you have the ability, come and get it. I'm afraid you. Shut up. Wang Yanyan wanted to say it, but I was afraid that you wouldn't dare, but before he could finish speaking, he was stopped by Wang Sihai. Wang Yanyan was puzzled. Wang Sihai, however, had already looked at Lin Chen with a cautious expression and said, I didn't expect that the Lin family's rumored waste turned out to be all fake, and their cultivation strength has actually reached the True Yuan realm. It's really admirable to be in the True Yuan realm at such a young age. What's even more admirable is that you hide it really deeply. What? How can this be? As soon as Wang Sihai finished speaking, Wang Yanyan, several other True Yuan realms of the Wang family, and some of the Wang family's children who followed them were stunned. True Yuan realm. Lin Chen has reached the True Yuan realm at such a young age. Wang Yanyan also felt terrible. When he was Lin Chen's age, he had just tempered his body. Although I don't believe that Lin Chen can come up with any skills, Wang Sihai said so himself, so it must be correct. Everyone looked at Lin Chen in shock. Lin Chen was stunned. He didn't hide it, and he didn't bother to hide it. But he didn't need to explain to Wang Sihai. He looked at Wang Yanyan's position and said, "So, you are not going to discuss it carefully? As long as I kill you, I can get the location of 7-star grass, right?" Lin Chen originally just wanted to make peace and make money, get the location of the 7-star grass, and then give them a skill as a reward. These people don't seem to appreciate it. Then there is nothing he can do. Ha ha ha, I admit that you are very powerful and have reached the true Yuan realm at such a young age, but, no one expected Lin Chen to be so fast. Even Wang Sihai didn't react. Just seeing Lin Chen's body flash, a hand directly passed through Wang Yanyan's heart. Wang Yanyan only had time to scream before he completely lost his breath. After that, Lin Chen didn't waste any time, and directly found the map on Wang Yanyan in front of the shocked Wang family. The location of the 7-star grass is clearly marked on it. Wang Yanyan was not lying about this. "Ah, Yan Yun." Wang Sihai let out a shrill roar. This Wang Yanyan is his biological brother. Now he is dying in front of his eyes. The first time he reacted, he hit Lin Chen with a palm. A palm with full strength at the 4th level of the true Yuan realm is infinitely powerful. But the next moment, he was blocked by Lin Hu and Lin Changfeng, who were following quickly. Lin Hu and Lin Changfeng took several steps back before they stabilized themselves. Wang Sihai also took a few steps back. The two of them worked together and actually tied with Wang Sihai. This is terrible. There is a 3-level difference in cultivation between the two and Wang Sihai, which means that the two of them now have the ability to challenge beyond the next level. You must know that 2 3rd-level true Yuan realms may not be able to block Wang Sihai's angry palm with all his strength. But they did it. Lin Hu and Lin Changfeng were shocked at first, and then burst into ecstasy. Is this the pleasure of being able to challenge yourself beyond the next level? They practiced the Heavenly Sword Supreme technique given by Lin Chen, and they felt that the power in their bodies was too powerful. I thought the true Yuan realm itself was so powerful. At this moment, I realized that it was not the 1st level of the true Yuan realm that possessed such power, but that it was those who had practiced the Heavenly Sword Supreme art that had such power. Looking at Lin Chen, their eyes once again filled with admiration and gratitude. He is also becoming more and more confident. After standing still, Lin Hu said disdainfully, "A person at the 4th level of the true Yuan realm is also going to attack Lin Chen. He must first pass the test between the two of us. How is this possible? What's going on with your kung fu? It's definitely not the Lin family's kung fu, at least it's an earth-level kung fu." Wang Sihai is also a knowledgeable person. It was immediately discovered that there was something wrong with the two people's skills. Hearing this, Lin Changfeng smiled sinisterly. "Nonsense. Of course it's not the Lin family's original high-grade Zon-level technique, but the technique given to us by Chen'er. I originally wanted to exchange the location of the 7-star grass with you. You Wang family will make a fortune. But you Wang family don't know how to praise, and you still ridicule them in every possible way. It's really a dog's eye that doesn't recognize the mountain." After Lin Changfeng said these words, he felt secretly happy. These people were so contemptuous before. Now seeing the shocked look of this technique made him feel happy for a while. Lin Chen actually gave me a technique of this level. For a moment, everyone in the Wang family, including Wang Sihai, felt regretful. They know better than anyone what a prefecture-level technique means to a family. It is enough for a family to rise quickly and even save hundreds of years of struggle. This can no longer be explained by revenge. Wang Sihai secretly cursed himself for looking down on the Lin family before. I really want to slap myself twice. If he surrenders now and can exchange for this earth-level skill, he can immediately forget about Lin Yanyan's murder. But he knew that it was irreversible. Lin Chen was obviously angry. The rest of the Wang family had the same idea at the moment. They all secretly scolded Wang Yanyan for being a talkative dog just now, and he really deserved to die. What the Wang family considered to be an earth-level technique allowed them to do this. If they were told that what Lin Chen was going to give him was a skill far beyond the earth level, I wonder if these people would go crazy. He even knelt down to Lin Chen on the spot without any hesitation. But at this moment, Wang Sihai had other thoughts in mind. He is at the 4th level of the True Essence realm. One Wang Yanyan died, and there were 3 True Yuan realm masters. And Wang Yanyan is just the weakest. He can also achieve an instant kill. Not without the strength to fight. As long as Lin Chen and the others are killed, not only can they obtain this earth-level skill, but they can also strangle the genius Lin Chen in the cradle. It can be said that it kills two birds with one stone. Thinking of this, Wang Sihai said to all the Wang family members behind him, all of you hold Lin Hu and Lin Chengfeng together, and I will deal with this Lin Chen. We have a great chance of winning. After saying that, the Wang family members immediately took action. But what no one expected was that as soon as Wang Sihai rushed in front of Lin Chen, he heard a scream of terror. There was extreme fear in his eyes. Lines of sword energy emitted from around Lin Chen's body. He didn't feel it when he was far away, but when he got closer, the horrible feeling of death frightened him. No, in the end, Wang Sihai only had time to let out a loud roar that he didn't dare to. The entire body was instantly crushed into pieces by the sword energy. Seeing the rest of the Wang family, their bodies were shocked. They were all horrified. Wang Sihai's plan failed from the very beginning. It also makes them have no desire to fight. But Lin Hu and Lin Chengfeng knew very well that they could not leave any trouble in the future. Stop these people directly and start a massacre. After just a moment, the remaining members of the Wang family were eliminated. Except for Wang Sihai, no one else was their opponent at all. Wang Sihai has been easily solved by Lin Chen. Lin Hu and Lin Chengfeng were also shocked. Obviously, Lin Chen also practiced the Heavenly Sword Supreme Ju. Even his cultivation level is the same as theirs. But the combat effectiveness displayed is far from what they can compare with. At this moment, they could even feel that a strong man at the 5th level of the True Yuan realm would not be Lin Chen's opponent. It really can't be compared. In front of Lin Chen, they were just ordinary people. Evildoer. The two of them had the same thoughts as Lin Zhenshan. At this point, the Wang family was completely eliminated. All the famous masters of the Wang family are buried here. If the outside world knew about it, the Lin family's threshold might be breached. This already has the strength of the top family in Yanchang. In the entire Yan city, there are only 5 top families. Now one is missing. In the past, Lin Hu and Lin Chengfeng wished that the Lin family would become the top family in Yanchang. But now, they don't like it at all. As long as Lin Chen is here, Yanchang will be like a bird in the future. There wasn't even a sense of excitement at the moment. He just followed Lin Chen silently like the 2 juniors. Lin Chen was thinking slightly at this moment. He had already written down the location on the map and put it away. After thinking about it, he said, I'm just looking for a 7-star grass. All the masters of the Wang family are out in force. There must be other purposes. Uncles, go and search the others. Wang Sihai was crushed to pieces by Lin Chen's sword energy before. Nothing important was left behind. If there is, Lin Chen has already discovered it. Wang Sihai has a habit of not putting important things on himself. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. He also has great trust in his brothers. The map of Qixingsao was previously placed on Wang Yanyan. Lin Chen didn't know this, but he always felt that it wasn't that simple. Okay, Chen'er, please wait a moment. Lin Hu and Lin Chengfeng responded and did as Lin Chen said. Really, just as Lin Chen thought. The two quickly found many map fragments on the dead people of the Wang family. That adds up to $7. Every piece is incomplete. Except for those 3 Wang family True Yuan realm powerhouses. 4 pieces of gold were actually found on those ordinary Wang family children. Wang Sihai was just afraid that something might happen to one person, even if it happened to himself. So the map is divided into many blocks. Together they form a complete treasure map. When Lin Hu and Lin Chengfeng finished putting the map together, Lin Chengfeng immediately exclaimed, "Good guy, this Wang Sihai is really capable. He actually got a treasure map. Since you are so cautious, it must be a very important treasure map. It can make all the experts of the Wang family, including Wang Sihai, dispatched. This treasure may be huge. Chen'er, you are so smart. You almost missed it before. My third uncle really admires you." Lin Chengfeng looked at Lin Chen and praised sincerely. Lin Hu also nodded along. At the same time there was a burst of excitement. Even the Wang family values the treasure map so much. You don't need to think about it to know how precious it is. It's good now. If you go out, you might be able to get some good stuff. Lin Chen also smiled and nodded. Everyone doesn't love treasure maps. After all, there might be some big treasure hidden in this thing. He has many martial arts skills, but he just lacks some treasures. If you can get it, it might be useful. It was picked up for free anyway, who wouldn't want it? Thinking of this, Lin Chen said, "Two uncles, please collect them. Once we find those herbs first, we will go over and take a look." Lin Chen raised the map of the location of the 7-star grass in his hand. Lin Hu and Lin Chengfeng both nodded in response. Then the three set off again. The Hidden Dragon Valley goes deep into some hidden dense forests. There is an open space covered by a large number of vegetation, which is now full of 7-star grass. Around the 7-star grass, there were dozens of third-level monsters, red lotus spiders, but only 2 were killed and were still struggling to hold on. He had also been seriously injured by Lin Chen, and Lin Hu and Lin Chengfeng were finishing up. These 2 are third-level high-level monsters. His strength is comparable to the 4th level of the True Yuan realm. Most people would just run for their lives when encountered. Lin Hu's wild laughter was filled with joy. Ha 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 ha. I thought it was just a few 7-star grasses, but I didn't expect it to be a group of 7-star grasses. This Wang family member is really capable, and he can actually get something like this map. Lin Chengfeng also smiled and said, "There are only the last 2 left. Chenur, just watch from the sidelines. Just leave this small matter to us. This 7-star grass is extremely rare and precious. If we take all of it back, it will be worth the wealth of our Lin family." The old man will be so excited that he faints. 7-star grass is extremely precious, and some alchemists add it to it, and can even refine elixirs that can heal people from near-death injuries. Just one plant can be sold for a sky-high price. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.